Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Pippins pregame show. I'm Chris Rosado Jr. It's a pleasure to have you along. The Pippins rebounded from a 14-1 loss in Game 1 on Saturday of the West Coast League divisional round for a win last night, 6-3. We'll take you through all of last night's win, all 9 runs scored, including the 2 pitching performances by the Pippins pitchers. We'll take you through that when we come back after the break in a recap of last night's game. The Pippins win last night. They tie up the series, forcing a Game 3. One way or another, someone's season is coming to an end tonight, and the Pippins players do not have their bags packed. Let me tell you, the winner of tonight's game will host the Corvallis Knights tomorrow night in Game 1 of the championship series. So Bellingham, if they win, will head back home to Bellingham and host Corvallis tomorrow. The Pippins, if they win, will stay at home and play Corvallis tomorrow. Games 2 and a possible Game 3 of the championship series will take place in Corvallis against, again, whichever team wins here tonight. In Game 3, the Pippins will send out Kirby Robertson on the mound. He's turned in a few great performances over the season. After tonight's recap, we'll have an interview with pitching coach Kelly Fitzpatrick about the great pitching performances last night and what he hopes to see with the pitching staff that's still available, the arms they have left after Games 1 and 2, who they have left, and how he hopes to use them in Game number 3. That is coming up right here on the Pippins pregame show.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires, proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, so we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pippins pregame show. Chris Rosado Jr. Pleasure to have you along all season long right here on YouTube at Pippins Baseball or on Mixlr at Pippins Baseball. However you prefer to watch, we appreciate you doing so. Also, a big special hello to all the fans watching to find out who Corvallis will play, or if you're a fan of another team who's just wanting to watch some more West Coast League action, welcome to you as well. We know we're the only game in town, and hopefully this will be a good one for you in Game number 3. Real quick, we'll take a look back at last night's action. The Bellingham Bells got out to an early lead in last night's game, 3-0, with a 3-run second inning.
Here's the 1-2. Chopper, shortstop. Corvallis has to wait back on it. Throws far and high over the head of Willie Lajoie. Gets lodged in the netting and fence line. Actually, it looks like it went through the netting into the dugout bar. So that will be 2 bases for Charlie Somm from the time of the pitch. That puts him on third base. And A.J. Davis, who at the time of the pitch was at home plate, he goes to second. The 3-1 pitch, and it goes right back up the middle, just past the glove of Seth Kuykendall. 1 run scores, and Taylor Holder has the ball drop out of his glove as he's trying to throw it home. So both runs will score on the play as Malachi Knight brings him in on a 2-run single, and the Bells lead 2-0 here in the top of the second inning. The 0-1 pitch, runner goes. Carpentier down to second, caught in a pickle, and they're going to concede the run to third. Trying to get the runner. He avoids the tag. No, he does get tagged. So Emilio Corona does the job. He gets caught up in a pickle between first and second, and the runner, Malachi Knight, scores from third. The Bells score 3 in the top of the second. They'll take it.
The Pippins had an answer, though, with a big inning in the bottom of the third inning. So the next inning and a half, bottom of the third inning, the Pippins load the bases thanks to an error, no outs in the third, and they put together a few more hits.
Here's the 1-1 pitch from Zach Simon, and Myers lines one into center field. Racing in, it will drop. The center fielder, Nick McLean, was deking everyone He softly jogged up on that one, acting like he might have a chance to catch it. Everyone was waiting back, but now after they saw it drop, they were able to advance. Alex Shanks scores. The throw went to the plate. It was off target and not in time. So 1 run scores on the RBI base hit by Chaz Myers. 3-1 pitch, and that hit Sam Olson on his elbow guard. That will force home a run. Off the inside of the hands, third baseman was playing in, so it goes over his head. 1 run scores. The second one from second will score. Connor Cobalis and Chaz Myers. And forget about tying this game. Michael Carpentier Jr. has just given the Pippins the lead. They're up 4-3 in the bottom of the third inning. The 3-1 pitch, and Dickman gives this one a ride. Line drive into the left field corner. Sam Olson will score from second. On his way to third goes Carpentier. The throw is off target. Carpentier goes first to third. Blake Dickman pumped. The dugout is pumped, and the Pippins are ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the third inning. Bytel delivers the 2-0. Marenko, grounder, bouncer to the shortstop. Has enough time to go to second. The throw to first is not in time, so they get the out at second. Carpentier scores from third, and the Pippins lead 6-3.
So the Pippins capitalize and turn in a 6-3 lead. Seth Kuykendall started on the mound. Outside of that second inning, which, by the way, all 3 of those runs were unearned because of Connor Cobalis' error. Outside of that second inning, he was pretty solid throughout the night. He had 3 strikeouts over 5 2/3 innings, and he starts to run into some trouble in the 6th, eventually giving way to Owen Wild with 2 outs and the bases loaded in the bottom of the 6th. But Owen Wild needs just 1 pitch to get out of the jam. He would go 3 more innings in last night's game, closing out the save. Kuykendall gets the win. Owen Wild gets the save in game number 2. Wild struck out 4 batters over 3 1/3. They were, by the way, our first ever co-players of the game, presented by Cascade Natural Gas. So a great night all around, batting in that third inning especially, and pitching all throughout the game. That helped the Pippins take game 2. In a moment, we'll return with an interview with Kelly Fitzpatrick talking about the pitching staff that's left for tonight's game, along with the pitching performances from last night and what he saw from a coach's perspective. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Stay connected and let Perry Technical Institute provide you with essential skills to take your career to the next level. Perry Tech offers 14 specialized programs, from instrumentation and industrial automation to medical technologies, agricultural and diesel equipment technology, and professional truck driving. In as little as 5 weeks, you could be on your way to a new rewarding career. Call Perry Technical Institute today at 509-453-0374 or visit perrytech.edu.
What has not traveling this last year really cost us? How about our peace of mind? It's time for a change of pace. Time to put aside the stress of the last year and get a new perspective with Fly YKM. Take back the time you lost and save time for what really matters. It's time for Fly YKM. Fly faster. Fly safer. Visit flyykm.com and connect to over 88 cities today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Pippins pregame show. I'm Chris Rosado Jr. talking today with pitching coach Kelly Fitzpatrick. Kelly, last night, 2 great pitching performances from Seth Kuykendall and Owen Wild. They almost split the game in half. Seth goes almost 6 innings, 1 out away from a quality start, but Owen Wild finishes off the game. Kuykendall gets the win, Wild the save. What did you see, the pitching coach, and how big were those 2 performances helping to save some other arms in the bullpen for game 3?
Yeah, definitely. Both those guys were phenomenal last night. You know, Seth goes out, gives us almost 5 innings there, pitched out of a lot of tough situations, does a great job limiting after the air. We give up the 3 spot, but that was all he gave up. And then Owen comes in and slams the door. And yeah, I mean, Owen going the rest of the way really sets us up for being in a good spot with the bullpen today.
Yeah, so talk about the bullpen going into today. We have Kirby Robertson starting on the mound, and as much as we'd all love for him to throw a 9-inning complete game shutout, we know that at some point probably we're going to have to turn to the bullpen tonight. So we played 2 tough games, one in Bellingham, one last night. Talk about what is left in the bullpen for game 3 and what we can expect to see tonight.
Yeah, we definitely have a lot of options going into tonight. You still have Case Matter, who hasn't thrown. Payson Sweeney will be an option, and then Landon, who's been a guy for us all season, will be available tonight as well. So, yeah, we're really all hands on deck and have a lot of options to go with tonight.
Yeah, the Pippins look to be in great shape here in game number 3. It's do or die for the Pippins, but it was do or die for them last night as well, and they did last night come up with the win 6-3. We'll have lineups and first pitch for you in just a moment right here on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
At Cascade Natural Gas, we help smart businesses cover their bases, old, new, and in between. No matter the age of your building, they all benefit from energy-efficient choices. Cascade Natural Gas offers a long list of incentives for energy-efficient upgrades. Upgrades that save your business money every day. Become one of the many Cascade business owners benefiting from the quality, comfort, and savings of energy-efficient upgrades. Join Team Energy Efficiency and take advantage of rebates from Cascade Natural Gas.
What's worse than standing in line at concessions? Now you can satisfy your appetite while remaining in your seat. With the mobile app Fan Food, you simply select Express Pickup and order your food. It is that simple. You deserve a VIP experience. Download Fan Food today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome inside Yakima County Stadium for Game 3. Somebody's season has to come to an end tonight, and we will find out in just a few hours who it will be. First, we'll take you through tonight's starting lineups, brought to you by the Yakima Herald-Republic. For the best sports coverage in the Yakima Valley, subscribe to the Yakima Herald-Republic, either in print or online. You can subscribe by calling 577-7755. The Yakima Herald-Republic, they tell your stories. For the Bellingham Bells, Daniel Jernin will lead things off tonight, playing left field. Nick McLean, the center fielder, hits in the 2 spot again, with Luis Avila is hitting third again, but he's behind the plate tonight. And Cole Hinkleman, who has been DHing as the cleanup hitter, he will play first base today. Malachi Knight will hit fifth and play right field. A.J. Davis, the third baseman, hits sixth. Alex Lambo gets his first start of the series. He's playing second base tonight. Cody Schreier will play shortstop and bat eighth. And Emilio Corona rounds out the bottom of the order as the DH tonight. Starting on the mound for the Bellingham Bells, when we get to the bottom of the first, will be Joey Dixon, a sophomore out of Stanford University. On the mound tonight for the Pippins to get things going is Kirby Robertson, also a sophomore out of Columbia Basin College. He's through the windup, and the first pitch is a called strike to Daniel Jernin to start game number 3 of the West Coast League North Divisional Series. Time of the first pitch, 7:06 p.m. Closest we've gotten to being on time in either of the 3 games this series. Here's the 0-1. Jernin lines one into shallow center. Taylor Holder a few steps forward. He'll make the catch for out number 1. Kirby Robertson, not someone that has overwhelming stuff, but he is someone that can miss bats and misses the barrels of the bats especially. In fact, I was listening to head coach Kyle Crustangel and some of the other coaches talking on the bus ride up to Bellingham on Saturday about Kirby and how they had to face him as part of the NWAC. Kirby Robertson plays at Columbia Basin College, NWAC foe of the Yakima Valley College Yaks, or the Crustangel and his staff coach, and they just said every time they saw Kirby, he just wrecked them through their lineup. Catches the outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike for Nick McLean, second batter this inning, 1 out and nobody on. Nick McLean will be a freshman out of UCLA in the fall. The 1-1 pitch off the end of the bat. That one goes back to the screen, and it's 1-2. Almost everyone in this lineup has started in both of the 2 games of the series so far. Not quite everyone. The order has been shaken up in all 3 games for the Bellingham Bells. The 1-2 pitch fouled off on the first base side out of play, and it's still 1-2. One of the constants, or I should say 3 of the constants, have been Nick McLean, Luis Aviles, and Cole Hinkleman batting 2, 3, and 4. And they do so again tonight, the 1-2. He takes just outside that time, 2 balls and 2 strikes. McLean, left-handed hitter, playing center field tonight. Over the last 2 nights has gone 4 for 9 with a run and 2 RBI, 2 walks and no strikeouts for him. Count even against Kirby Robertson. The pitch. That one was fouled off. Tried to go to the outside corner again. Looked like they were going to catch it. And McLean just barely got the end of the bat on top of it. Bounces off the glove of Michael Carpentier Jr. So the count's still 2-2 to get things going here in game number 3. Quick line out by Daniel Jernin. Here's the 2-2 to Nick McLean again. That time they miss outside, and it's 3-2. They have been repeatedly trying to catch that outside corner, and every time they get close, McLean fouls it off. Otherwise, they've been missing outside. The payoff pitch to McLean. Outside that time, but McLean gets the head of the bat on it. Bouncer to the third baseman, Chaz Myers, who barehands it but doesn't have a play, so he eats it. And Nick McLean is on with an infield single, a swinging bunt down the third base line that lets him reach with one out. That will bring Luis Aviles to the plate. It will be a redshirt senior at Tulane in the fall. He has played in all 3 games of this series, but he has been the first baseman in the first 2 games. The Bells have used 3 catchers in all 3 games so far. Bennett Lee, in his last game with the Bellingham Bells, back on Saturday, got the start behind the plate and had a terrific game. Strike called on the low outside corner for the right-handed hitting Luis Aviles. Last night, Charlie Somm was behind the plate. And here tonight, Aviles will move from first to catcher. Runner on first base, 1 out, no balls and 1 strike. Robertson out of the stretch, floats a curveball that misses outside, and it's 1-1. Aviles 2 for 9 in the series so far. 1 walk and 1 strikeout for him. Pretty much everyone in the lineup for the Bells on Saturday had a big night. 1-1 pitch misses up high, and it's 2-1. Last night was, by comparison, seemed like a lot less offense from the Bellingham Bells, but really about an average game offensively. They had 8 hits, just only translated into 3 runs. The hits were spread out throughout the night. Ball misses up high, 3-1. And all 3 runs came in that second inning after an error by Connor Cobalas. So the Pippins allowed no earned runs throughout the game. Scored 6 runs of their own. 5 of them were earned in that third inning to win 6-3. The 3-1 pitch popped up down the right field line. Tailing foul. Blake Dickman on the run. He slides for it, and it's just past the reach of his glove, and it drops foul. It will be a full count for Luis Aviles. The wind blowing heavily here at Yakima County Stadium, and the flags out in right field are changing directions quite frequently, but the prevailing winds are left to right, which tends to be what we see. Not necessarily blowing out to right, but just if you draw a line from the left fielder to the right fielder, that direction. So that ball was hit sort of at where Blake Dickman is positioned in right field, but ended up tailing all the way foul. Payoff pitch. Lined into right field. Will that one stay fair? Dickman on the run, and it is fair, and it's gone. A 2-run home run for Luis Aviles. He just tucked that one right behind the foul pole down the right field line. And the Bells lead 2-0 here in the top of the first inning. That one might have actually hit off the foul pole. It's a tough angle to tell from here. It looked like it, as it reached the foul pole, took an awkward angle. So here's Cole Hinkleman. First pitch to him misses outside. The last time Luis Aviles hit a home run was back on Saturday night when he hit a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. Cole Hinkleman followed that up. The next pitch he took deep to right field for a solo home run as the Bells went back-to-back against the Pippins. Perhaps because of that experience, Pippins have been working outside the first 2 pitches to Cole Hinkleman. He's taken 2 balls, and it's 2-0. Robertson out of the windup, the 2-0 pitch. Misses outside again, and it's 3-0. A little timid coming over the plate against the big bat of Cole Hinkleman. 3-0 pitch. And that strike taken near the top of the strike zone. The 3-1 pitch. And it's a line drive into center field. Taylor Holder was moving back, then realized it was in front of him. Runs up and loses his hat as he makes the catch. And that will be out number 2. In between the first and second lineouts to Taylor Holder. Nick McLean with a base hit and Luis Aviles with a 2-run home run. Certainly benefiting from the dimensions here at Yakima County Stadium. Really took advantage. Just 293 down into the corners if you're unfamiliar with the Orchard. First pitch to Malachi Knight and pops one up. Foul territory, and it will go out of play on the first base side. Relatively standard outfield dimensions, but it's a tall 16-foot wall all throughout except for the cutout for the scoreboard. The exception is as the fence comes around to the foul poles, it juts back in towards the field of play so that the foul poles, as I mentioned, are just 293 feet away from home plate. That ball from Luis Aviles certainly benefit, especially if it hit off the foul pole. Line drive into left field, sliding and making the catch is the left fielder Alex Shanks, and that is a great play by him to get Kirby Robertson out of the first inning. A 2-run home run is the damage against him in the first. We go to the bottom of the first. Bellingham up 2-0. We'll be right back. You're tuning into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we had gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, so we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Bottom of the first inning, and before we get into things here in the bottom of the first, let's take another look back at that play in left field. Alex Shanks making the catch off the bat of Malachi Knight. Lines one into left field, shallow. Shanks is chasing forward, coming in and decides to make the sliding grab, and he does. A terrific defensive play by Alex Shanks that helps Kirby Robertson get out of that first inning, but the 2-run home run does hurt him. Bellingham Bells lead 2-0 as we start things off in the bottom of the first with Connor Cobalis. Takes the first pitch as a ball, low and away from Joey Dixon out on the mound. Dixon, a right-hander, working out of the windup. The 1-0 pitch. That one bounces out in front. It's 2-0. I'll take you through the starting lineup tonight for the Yakima Valley Pippins. After Cobalis, the shortstop, will be Chaz Myers, the third baseman. Sam Olson DHing, hitting third tonight, and Willie Lajoie, the first baseman, hits cleanup. Michael Carpentier Jr. back behind the plate as Cobalis takes ball 3. Carpentier batting fifth with Blake Dickman batting sixth and playing right field. Taylor Holder is in center field batting seventh. Alex Shanks in left hitting eighth, and Spencer Marenko rounds out the bottom of the order as the second baseman. Connor Cobalis walks on 4 straight pitches to start the bottom of the first inning. The Pippins have their first runner aboard. If that batting order sounds at all familiar to you, that's because it's been pretty much the same batting order for all 3 games. In fact, this one is identical to the batting order for the Pippins back on Saturday night in Bellingham. They decided to go with Mason Marenko at second base last night and switched up the bottom couple of batters. They go back to the first game lineup with Spencer Marenko at second base. Strike taken by Chaz Myers. First strike thrown by Joey Dixon. The 0-1 pitch, and Myers holds back a swing on another ball in the dirt. It is 1-1 with Connor Cabales on first after the leadoff walk. And check down to first base to make sure, and Chaz Myers did not go, says Jordan Shepard, the first base umpire. Three-man crew, in case you hadn't been tuning in the last couple of nights. They add one for the playoff series. Here's the 1-1 to Myers. Takes inside, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Eric Swift is the home plate umpire tonight. Jacob Asher, who took an absolute beating behind the plate last night, he has shown back up for Game 3. He's the third base umpire, currently stationed out in the middle of the infield with a runner on first base. Chaz Myers takes one in near the cleats, and it is 3 balls and 1 strike for him. Joey Dixon has thrown 8 pitches so far, 7 of them for balls. The 3-1 pitch to Myers. Catches the outside corner that time, and it's a full count. Defensively for the Bells, Daniel Gernon out in left field, Nick McLean in center, and Luis Aviles is the, actually, I don't know how I messed that one up. Luis Aviles I have written down as the right fielder. Malachi Knight is in right field. Throw over to first, and Cabales back in safely. A.J. Davis playing third base tonight. He really shined defensively last night for the Bells. Here's the payoff pitch to Myers. Just misses below the knees. That one looked like it had the corner, and must have been the elevation that was off. So it's 2 walks to start the game for Joey Dixon, and the Pippins have runners on first and second with no outs. Cody Schreier playing shortstop tonight with Alex Lambeau getting the start at second base. Cole Hinkleman is the first baseman tonight, and Luis Aviles is behind the plate, as I had straight all during the top of the first inning. Sam Olson takes a strike at the knees, and understandably taking all the way until he gets a strike, with the first 2 batters reaching on walks. Olson, a guy you can typically count on to get on one way or another. 1 pitch misses outside. 1 for 7 in this series. But last night was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded and no outs in that third inning, that forced homer run. Also had a base hit in the 5th. Here's the 1-1 from Dixon, and Olson, fly ball into deep center field. Nick McLean back, and it's over his head. Cabales was tagging from second. He goes to third, and he's getting waved around. The throw goes over the head of the cutoff man, so Cabales will score without a throw. Chaz Myers goes to second. He was also tagging from first, and the lead cut in half on the RBI base hit by Sam Olson. You got to tip your cap to Nick McLean. This is the second night in a row that he has potentially stolen a run away. I don't know that Chaz Myers scores from first on that ball, but easily could have gone first to third. But McLean looked like he had that ball caught pretty much off the bat, and he was really nowhere near it. Bounced about 10 feet out in front of him. Ball taken down low by Willie Lajoie. So Cabales had to wait at second base. Myers had to wait at first. They were both trying to tag, so Myers wound up only being able to take second when it eventually dropped. And Olson has the RBI base hit. Ball down low to Willie Lajoie. 2 balls and no strikes. Lajoie last night, after Olson was hit by a pitch to force home a run, Lajoie stepped to the plate with no outs and the bases loaded, but the Bells had just made a pitching change to Vitel. Strike taken at the knees, and it's 2-1. And the first batter that Vitel faced Willie Lajoie struck out with a full count. Chance to redeem himself here with runners on first and second and no outs in the bottom of the first inning. Bell's ahead 2-1. Here's the 2-1 pitch. This is low, and it's 3-1. Dixon working out of the stretch. The 3-1 pitch in the dirt. Runners will move up because of the walk. Myers got over to third quickly just in case Luis Aviles was slow to find that baseball. That is the third walk issued by Joey Dixon in this inning, and that loads the bases with no outs. So the Bells will come out and have a chat with Joey Dixon. An arm getting loose down in the bullpen already for Bellingham. Looks like Will Armbruster getting loose. Joey Dixon made 4 starts in West Coast League play for the Bellingham Bells. He had a 1-0 record with a 3.93 ERA. 16 innings pitched. He had 13 strikeouts and 16 walks. And here tonight, 3 walks and a base hit so far to start his day in the bottom of the first inning. You're going to see some decisions get made in today's game that you may not see during the regular season because of the nature of this game. Somebody is going home tonight. Somebody's season will come to an end. You cannot take any chances. First pitch to Michael Carpentier Jr., who now bats with the bases loaded and no outs. He takes high and outside for a ball. It's 1-0. And you cannot try to save any arms for a potential championship series. 1-0, bouncer first base side, and leaping to stop it was Cole Hinkleman. Doesn't have a chance at the plate, but covering was Dixon at first base, and the Bells get their first out on the ground out. Chaz Myers scores from third. The rest of the runners move up. I don't know that there's a lot of first basemen in this league that are able to get enough air and are as tall as Cole Hinkleman is to be able to bring that ball down. It's an RBI ground out for Michael Carpentier Jr. that ties this game in the bottom of the first inning. It is 2-2. Hinkleman came down with that ball, and his first instinct was to throw home to prevent the run. Luckily, was told by Dixon to toss it to him instead. Blake Dickman, first pitch swinging, lines one over to the second baseman, Alex Lambo, who makes the catch, and runners fortunately not too far off the bag. That is out number 2. Well, after the mound visit, Joey Dixon settling down a bit. Unfortunate for him that the ground out he induced came with the bases loaded, so a run scored. Tied at 2, runners on second and third. Sam Olson on third, Willie Lajoie on second for Taylor Holder, who takes the first pitch at the knees for a called strike. Wearing number 6 again tonight because the Pippins are back in their white home jerseys. It's a very superstitious team. Generally, after a win, will wear the same jersey combination the next day. Bounces one in the dirt, and it's 1-1. Pippins walk away with the 6-3 win last night, so why not come back with the same jerseys tonight? All white form. The green Pippins on the front and the numbers on the back. The 1-1 pitch. And Holder hits a deep line drive to left center field. Nobody was in that gap. Both runs will score easily. Holder on his way to second. It is a 2-run double for Taylor Holder, and the Pippins lead this game 4-2 in the bottom of the first inning. Taylor Holder comes up big for his team. He hit that ball hard into the left center field gap, and the center fielder, Nick McLean, was shaded over to the right. Left fielder playing near the line. Wide open hole, and easily brings in the 2 runs. Ball in the dirt, gets past Aviles. On his way to third goes Holder. Let's take a second to look back at that hit from Taylor Holder. Runners on second and third and 2 outs, and Taylor Holder takes a fastball up high and absolutely handles it into the power alley in left center.
McLean and Jernan have no choice but to simply chase it down to the wall as Holder races around to second and both runners come around to score. The Pippins are ahead 4-2. Pitch to Alex Shanks. Takes low. This time caught by Aviles, and it's 2-0. Aviles has to keep everything in front of him with Taylor Holder now on third base. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Shanks takes right down the middle for strike one. It's 2-1. Shanks 2 for 7 in the series so far, with a run scored. No walks, no strikeouts. 2-1 pitch. Holds back a swing, called a strike, and it's 2-2. Breaking ball he thought was going to drop out of the zone, but stayed up long enough. So the count even with 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch from Joey Dixon takes in the dirt, and the count is full. Taylor Holder, who had the 2-run double, he's on third base after a pass ball. With 2 outs. Pippins ahead 4-2, trying to add to the lead in the first inning. The payoff pitch to Shanks. Chopper first base side, or third base side rather, goes foul. Two again, and Shanks grounder third base side, this time fair. A.J. Davis gloves it and throws across to first. A.J. Davis has been basically automatic at third base and is this time as well. So the ground out ends the first inning, but the Pippins, after the first 2 batters walk, an RBI base hit by Sam Olson, and Willie Lajoie walks to load the bases. Michael Carpentier Jr. grounds out for an RBI to tie the game. And with runners on second and third, Taylor Holder lines one into left center field for a 2-run double, giving the Pippins a 4-2 lead. We go to the second inning, just the second inning, 4-2 already. We'll be right back. You tune into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Stay connected and let Perry Technical Institute provide you with essential skills to take your career to the next level. Perry Tech offers 14 specialized programs, from instrumentation and industrial automation to medical technologies, agricultural and diesel equipment technology, and professional truck driving. In as little as 5 weeks, you could be on your way to a new rewarding career. Call Perry Technical Institute today at 509-453-0374 or visit perrytech.edu.
What has not traveling this last year really cost us? How about our peace of mind? It's time for a change of pace. Time to put aside the stress of the last year and get a new perspective with Fly YKM. Take back the time you lost and save time for what really matters. It's time for Fly YKM. Fly faster. Fly safer. Visit flyykm.com and connect to over 88 cities today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the top of the second inning. Chris Rosado Jr. Happy to have you along for Game 3 of the West Coast League's North Divisional Round. A.J. Davis takes a first pitch strike to start the top of the second inning. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Bellingham Bells here in the second inning. The 0-1 from Kirby Robertson. A curveball popped up, first base side, and that will go just over the net foul. Bounces off the stands and would have come back if not for the protective netting down there. So no balls and 2 strikes for A.J. Davis to start things off in the second inning. In the top of the first, Nick McLean had a 1-out base hit. Luis Aviles either tucked one just behind the right field foul pole or clanked it off of it. Tough to tell from this angle. Either way, 2-run home run for Luis Aviles gave the Bellingham Bells a 2-0 lead. The Pippins come back for a 4-run first after the first 4 batters reached on either a walk or a base hit, and all 4 came around to score. The 1-2 pitch, fly ball deep down the right field line, but that one goes foul as well. And it's still 1-2. Davis has been great defensively for the Bells. Offensively, 1 for 8 in the series, but he's got 3 runs scored, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. The 1-2.
And he had started a swing. He had started a swing, and it hit off the knob of his bat and went fair. The Pippins picked it up and threw to first. Eric Swift immediately called a foul ball, and the unfortunate thing is that regardless of what the umpires decide, Eric Swift called that ball foul right off the bat. There's really nothing the umpires can do at that point. I think Eric Swift is saying that it hit his hand as part of the knob, making it a foul ball, which I believe at that point, if it hits your body as part of a swing, which it would be on the foul ball, that would be an out for A.J. Davis. I'm not really sure. I guess we'd have to see. I mean, he definitely heard something clank. I don't believe Davis is wearing an elbow guard, so it hit part of the bat. So if the argument is that it hit his hand and the bat on the swing, then that would have to go down as an out for A.J. Davis because he's got 2 strikes on him. Unless he's saying that it hit the bat and then his body. And Kyle Crustangel not happy about this interpretation by Eric Swift. Not sure if he asked for Eric Swift to get some help or not, but Eric Swift is not going to ask any of the other umpires. And it will go down as a foul ball. This umpiring crew has been very good in this series. Just from what I can see as from the press box, strike zone-wise, very consistent. Both umpires, line drive into left field. That one will fall near the warning track. Cut off before the warning track by Taylor Holder, and into second is A.J. Davis. Well, and Crustangel's out of the dugout. He is livid, and that's exactly right. I mean, A.J. Davis should have been out. And now A.J. Davis has a double instead. We'll have to see how that one comes back here in this second inning. This is some controversy early on in this game. It will go down as a double in the top of the second inning for A.J. Davis. And fully recognizing that I'm the broadcaster for the Yakima Valley Pippins. But I don't really see how that ball gets called a foul ball and doesn't result in A.J. Davis being called out. So I really think Kyle Crustangel has an argument to be made there. But we'll see how things play out in the second inning. That was the first batter, A.J. Davis. Here's Alex Lambo. He had one at-bat yesterday as a pinch hitter. He earned a base hit. First 2 pitches to him missed for balls, and it's 2-0. Crustangel was already out of the dugout yelling at Eric Swift before the play even ended, and you know if A.J. Davis comes around to score, Crustangel is not going to be any calmer. Strike called on the high outside corner to Alex Lambo, and it's 2-1. Kirby Robertson working out of the stretch with the runner on second base. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Curveball that dropped down low, laying off is Lambo. And it's 3-1. A.J. Davis on second base. No outs here in the top of the second inning. Pippins leading 4-2. The 3-1 pitch popped up. That one goes out of play. It's a full count. Davis, to his credit, took the second life that was given to him by Eric Swift and made the most of it. Driving one into left field. Same spot pretty much that Taylor Holder took his double. Holders came with 2 runners on and scored a pair to give the Pippins a 4-2 lead. Davis led off the second. Payoff pitch coming. Inside, ball 4. That'll put runners on first and second with no outs here in the top of the second inning for Cody Schreier. And as I talked about in the bottom of the first inning, when the bells started getting Will Armbruster ready to go early on, little decisions throughout this game could have big ramifications for the fate of the season, not just the game. That's what we're talking about here. This is game 3 of a best-of-3 series. Pippins won last night to keep their playoff hopes alive and have to win tonight. Over the course of a season, generally, you're going to get some calls that don't go your way. And they sort of even out as the season goes on, but they don't have the benefit of the law of averages here in game number 3. Strike called, a terrific breaking ball from Kirby Robertson. That one broke late, and Cody Schreier had already decided to take that pitch. No balls and 2 strikes. Schreier having a great series so far. He's 7 for 11 with 3 runs and 4 RBI. No walks and no strikeouts. He's been putting the ball in play quite a bit. The 0-2, and he takes up high that time. He was ready to unload on one. And that swing loaded up and was able to keep the bat back once he realized it was at his eye level. Runners on first and second, no outs. Top of the second inning. Pippins ahead 4-2. Robertson set, looks back at second. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, and pops one up out of play down the first base line. The winner of tonight's game will go on to face Corvallis in the West Coast League Championship Series after Corvallis swept Ridgefield in the first 2 games of their series. First game on Saturday night, Corvallis in Ridgefield won 13-6. Last night, Corvallis made quick work of the Raptors at home, winning 9-0. That game got done about halfway through the Pippins game. Grounder up the middle. Corvallis will scoop it, step on second, and throw to first. And Corvallis turns a double play. And that puts A.J. Davis on third base. And just to sort of follow up on the thread of this inning, as we talked about, keeping an eye on how this inning developed, A.J. Davis, who doubled, goes to third on the double play. If he had been called out, the walk in double play, this inning's over. So the ramifications of that call still in play here in the top of the second inning, as Emilio Corona steps to the plate with 2 outs and A.J. Davis 90 feet away. Robertson still out of the stretch with the runner on third. The first pitch misses up high. Let's take a look at that one. Grounder pulled by Cody Schreier near the second base bag. Connor Corvallis ranges over to it, decides to make his own way to the second base bag and throw over to first, and it's a double play for the Pippins. Certainly a big one. Back to live action, and a line drive into left field drops in front of Alex Shanks. It's an RBI base hit for Emilio Corona, and there it is. A.J. Davis scores from third base, and it is a 4-3 game. And I got to say, I'm actually quite surprised that Kyle Crustangel is not out of the dugout right now. Has had a few batters to calm himself down. Can't tell for certain whether he's making comments from inside the dugout or not. But Emilio Corona has an RBI base hit that makes this game 4-3, and we go to the top of the lineup for Daniel Jernin. First pitch in the dirt, and Corona thought about trying for second. Carpentier blocked that one and got out to it quickly. And we know what kind of arm he has, so it's a first pitch ball to Daniel Jernin. Fly ball out of play over the grandstands on the first base side, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike for Daniel Jernin. Be a junior at Lower Columbia College in the fall. In his first at-bat back in the first inning, he lined out to center fielder Taylor Holder. Emilio Corona on first base. Second on the team in stolen bases over the summer with 10 of them. Who was first place? The guy at the plate, Daniel Jernin, who had 12 stolen bases over the summer. Thank you for asking. Corona was caught 4 times this season as well. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Jernin takes on the inside corner for a called strike, and it's 2-2. Bit of a delayed call there from Eric Swift. Decides that one caught enough of the inside corner. So the count even 2-2. Kirby Robertson trying to get out of this inning, currently with a 1-run lead. The 2-2 on its way. High and tight that time, and it's full count. Robertson's first walk of the game came a few batters ago. It was Alex Lambo who walked, putting runners on first and second before Cody Schreier grounded into a double play. Payoff pitch to Jernin, and he takes up high for ball 4. That is the second walk of the inning and of the game for Kirby Robertson. He had 16 walks issued this summer compared to 20 strikeouts over 35 innings. Kirby Robertson did. 2-1 record for him in 6 starts in West Coast League play. He also had a number of non-league starts. Here's Nick McLean. First pitch swinging. Pops one up over the press box. That is strike 1. The most walks that Kirby Robertson has allowed this summer is just 3 of them. Did so on August 10th against Wenatchee. The 0-1 pitch to McLean. He lines out of play on the third base side, and it's quickly 0-2. McLean had a 1-out base hit in the first inning on the 8th pitch of his at-bat. Right now, Kirby Robertson out in front on 2 foul balls. Cobal is holding the runner at second base, or at least playing near him. Lajoie playing back near the first base line. Large gap on the left side of the infield. The 0-2 high and outside. Carpentier has to leave his feet to catch the ball, but he does, and it's 1-2. Kirby Robertson comes set, looking back at second. Here's the 1-2 pitch. They go backdoor breaking ball, misses down low, and it's 2-2. Robertson has to be careful not to lose McLean here. He got out front to an 0-2 count. He just walked Daniel Jernin with a full count, and had also walked Alex Lambo on a full count as well. A lot of deep counts early on in this game against Kirby Robertson. The 2-2. Fastball driven to left center field. Alex Shanks called off by Taylor Holder in the gap, and he does make the catch after losing his hat for out number 3. A.J. Davis reaches after possibly either grounding out or what could have been a strikeout called on the foul ball that I believe Eric Swift said hit his body. After that, he reaches on a double, gets moved over to third on a double play, and scores on the base hit by Emilio Corona, and the Pippins now lead 4-3 heading into the bottom of the second. 9-1-2 due up for the Yakima Valley Pippins in the bottom of the second. We'll be right back. You're tuning into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Who knew it was so difficult to find the right bank?
I know. It's so confusing.
Checking out your banking options? Oh, sounds overwhelming.
It's a cloud of uncertainty.
Enough! With Banner Bank, it's easy to manage your finances, and help is here when you need it.
Be gone, Cloud!
Oh! Wait! Ah!
Built for action, built for banking. Banner Bank.
If we win the lottery, we'd remodel our home.
We'd start with the kitchen.
And out back is where the big trucks will go.
Wow!
Ben, you don't even live here anymore?
Hey, don't forget about Grandma.
Okay, family meeting. Come on.
Welcome to the Ice Dome.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Bottom of the second inning. And Spencer Marenko to lead things off for the Pippins. It will be Spencer Marenko, Connor Kobalas, and Chaz Myers leading things off for the Pippins. Spencer takes ball 1 inside to start his at-bat. Spencer played on Saturday. He got last night off with his older brother playing second base. Bouncer up the middle, off the glove of the shortstop. Schreier picks it up and throws over to first, and at that point, not in time. Spencer Marenko's got a decent amount of speed in those cleats. gets down to first base, and the one hop to Cole Hinkleman, although Hinkleman digs it out clean, is not in time. It will go down as an error for the shortstop, Cody Schreier. Schreier started last night's game as the shortstop. Not last night, rather. Yeah, we did. Checking my notes here. He started both games at shortstop. Connor Caballas lines one into left field. Let's change the subject to Caballas, rounding for second. Being waved around to score is Spencer Marenko. The relay throw will not go to the plate. It's held onto in left field, and Spencer Marenko scores from first on the double by Connor Caballas. The Pippins are out in front 5-3. Spencer Marenko over the West Coast League season had just 4 doubles. He's got 1 in the playoffs. Let's take another look at it. Spencer Marenko on first base, and Connor Caballas gives one a ride into the left center field gap. Same gap, large, wide open area out there that the Bells leave open. Connor Caballas is able to reach on the double, and Spencer Marenko races around from first base. Would have been a tough play to get him at home, and they decide to hold on to the ball, so Caballas is left at second. It's an RBI double, and the Pippins are back to a 2-run lead here in the bottom of the second inning. Chaz Myers fouled the first pitch off the end of his bat. Stopped in foul territory by Luis Aviles. He takes strike 2 on the inside corner. Both Caballas and Chaz Myers reached on walks to start this game, or at least start the bottom half of the first inning. Sam Olson singled to score Caballas. Willie Lajoie walked to load the bases. And Myers scored on a ground out by Michael Carpentier Jr. Caballas on second base, the 0-2 to Chaz Myers. Chopper to the third baseman, A.J. Davis. Checks on second, throws over to first. And Cole Hinkleman staring right into the sun. A bit of an awkward play for him, but he does make the catch. That is out number 1. By the way, Taylor Holder had a 2-run double in the first inning. Connor Caballas had a RBI double here in the second. Those are the first 2 extra base hits for the Pippins in this entire series. It was all singles for him up to this point. Here's the first pitch to Sam Olson, who takes inside for ball 1. Olson never one to shy away from getting hit by a pitch to help his team out. Runner on second base with 1 out. Pippins ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the second inning. Dixon looks back at second base. Here's the 1-0. And Olson takes in the dirt. 2 balls and no strikes. Dixon struggled early in the first inning, but then got the ground out that did allow a run to score. A line out to Blake Dickman. Taylor Holder had the 2-run double in the first inning before Dixon finally got out of that inning. The 2-0 pitch. Sam Olson takes at the knees for a strike. Really, if you take out those first 4 batters of that first inning, Joey Dixon has a fine inning. Just unfortunate that the mound visit came 4 batters in after he had already allowed a run and loaded the bases with no outs. Sam Olson hits a hard grounder, backhanded by the shortstop Schreier, a long throw, but he gets it to him in time, and Caballas still trapped at second base. Both of those ground outs hit out in front of him, and he can't go anywhere. First pitch to Willie Lajoie. He takes inside for a ball. He walked in his first plate appearance back in the first inning. That was to load the bases. Caballas still on second base after the RBI double, the 1-0 pitch. And there for a called strike, and it is 1-1 for him. Joey Dixon working out of the stretch with the runner on second. They have to go through the night signs. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Lajoie takes up high, and it's 2-1. Tonight's game is the first time since back on July 6th, the Bells played the Corvallis Knights, that Joey Dixon was on the mound with Luis Aviles behind the plate. It's the only time those two worked together as battery mates. And was also Joey Dixon's first start and first appearance on the mound for the Bellingham Bells. Strike 2 to Willie Lajoie. 2 balls and 2 strikes with 2 outs. Runner on second base. Lajoie, the cleanup hitter tonight. He has 1 RBI in this series so far, the 2-2, and tries to hold back his swing. He does not, says Eric Swift. Tag applied by Luis Aviles, and that is out number 3. So Spencer Marenko reaches on the error, and Connor Kobalis doubles to score the run. Kyle Crustangel is coming down from third base, asking Eric Swift why he didn't bother checking with Jordan Shepard. That's a reasonable argument to be made. Important game like this one, why not at least get the second opinion? But Eric Swift saw a swing and is allowed to call it. Lajoie strikes out swinging, and that ends the second inning. We go to the third. Pippins leading 5-3. We'll be right back. You tune into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Be an energy efficiency hero. Install high-efficiency natural gas equipment, and you can be just like Cascade's most energy-efficient player of the game. Match his ERA of $710. Put some runs on the board by upgrading your furnace, improving your home's insulation, and switching to a condensing tankless water heater. Cascade's bench is deep with both residential and commercial incentives. Check them out at our website or give us a call and be an energy efficiency player of the game.
What's worse than standing in line at concessions? Now you can satisfy your appetite while remaining in your seat. With the mobile app Fan Food, you simply select Express Pickup and order your food. It is that simple. You deserve a VIP experience. Download Fan Food today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the top of the third inning. Luis Aviles to lead things off, followed by Cole Hinkleman and Malachi Knight. Not a bad part of the lineup to have coming to the plate when you're down by 2 in the third inning. Kirby Robertson heads back out for a second inning of work, or third inning, rather. He's allowed 3 runs on 4 hits so far. Here comes the first pitch to Luis Aviles. Rips a grounder right at third baseman Chaz Myers. Takes the shuffle and over to first in time. That is out number 1 to get things going in the third. Robertson walked his first 2 batters of the game back in the second inning. Cole Hinkleman, left-handed hitter, big hitter for the Bellingham Bells, had a long home run back on Saturday night. Pops one up foul territory, tailing out of play and into the grandstands for strike number 1. Hit a home run to right field in Saturday night's game that traveled 431 feet. That is the furthest hit baseball of the year in the West Coast League. The 0-1 pitch starts on the outside half, breaks over the middle, and it's 0-2. That was according to the great TrackMan operator in Bellingham. Run a great operation out there in Bellingham. No balls and 2 strikes for Cole Hinkleman. Pops one up, shallow left field. On the grass goes Chaz Myers. Now he's back on the dirt. Connor Kobalis makes the catch. And the wind playing with that one. Chaz Myers a little miffed that Connor Kobalis had to make the catch. Now he claps his glove a couple of times. Yeah, Myers had that ball just where he wanted it. The wind, as I said, back in the first inning, blowing pretty heavily left to right. It is moving these baseballs around when they get enough air. Here's Malachi Knight, takes a first pitch in the dirt. Take a look back at last night. Malachi Knight had a 2-run single back up the middle in the top of the second inning. That scored the first 2 runs of the game for the Bellingham Bells, following the error by Connor Kobalis. Just ripped one right past Seth Kuykendall. That narrowly avoided the glove and allowed both runners to score. So far tonight, Malachi Knight had a shallow line drive into left field that Alex Shanks made a great sliding play on. 2 balls and no strikes for him. Here with 2 outs, the pitch from Kirby Robertson, and Knight lines one deep to center. Taylor Holder ranging back, now pulls up underneath, and he'll make the catch for out number 3. Well, a 3-up, 3-down inning for the Pippins here in the top of the third. First time they've done that today, and we go to the bottom of the third. Pippins leading 5-3. Michael Carpentier Jr., Blake Dickman, and Taylor Holder to lead things off. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, so we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the bottom of the third inning. Michael Carpentier Jr. will lead things off for the Pippins. We'll take a look back at last night's game. Michael Carpentier Jr. in the bottom of the third inning. A 2-run bloop base hit to left field. It was hit it off the bat near his hands. Just took it the other way. Dropped right in. Chaz Myers, who was on second base, had a great read to see that A.J. Davis was not going to be able to make the catch on it. Was able to score from second, with Connor Kobalis scoring from first base. A 2-run base hit for Michael Carpentier Jr. that gave the Pippins a 4-3 lead. They would, of course, go on to add 2 more runs and win the game 6-3. All 6 of their runs scored in that third inning. 1-0 count for Carpentier here tonight, and he lines one into left field. Daniel Jernin, a few steps to his left, will be able to make the catch for out number 1. So here's Blake Dickman, lined out to the second baseman, right at the second baseman on the first pitch he saw. Started in both games. Back on Saturday night, about halfway through the game when the game was pretty much out of reach for the Pippins, they decided to pull Michael Carpentier Jr., allow him to rest his legs up for the final few innings, and moves Blake Dickman from right field to catch the rest of the game. First pitch to Dickman. He takes down low this time for ball 1. Last night, Dickman got the start out in right field, and then in the top of the 8th inning, Pippins decided to make a defensive change, putting Corey Jarrell out in right instead. Ball low again, and it's 2-0. They were hoping that in the bottom of the 7th inning, Dickman would be able to bat one last time, but the inning ended right before him on a ground out by Michael Carpentier Jr. So they elected to stay with the defensive switch, putting Jarrell in, and Jarrell led off the bottom of the 8th inning. In his one at-bat, he wound up striking out looking with a full count. The 3-0 pitch to Dickman, and a strike this time. Catches the knees, and it's 3-1. Dickman is 1 for 7 in the series. Had a big hit last night. Here's the 3-1. Swung on and missed, and the count is now full. One RBI for him. 4 strikeouts. struck out a decent amount over the summer. Payoff pitch to him, and he gets a piece of that one, fouling it back towards his own dugout to stay alive. He also got on base quite a bit, which is pretty impressive as well. 286 batting average led the team over the summer. 409 on base percentage, was second on the team, despite 37 strikeouts for him. The 3-2 pitch, and he lines one between the infielders. That will roll into left field. It's a base hit for Blake Dickman with one out in the bottom of the third inning. So that will bring Taylor Holder to the plate. Had a 2-run double in the first. That broke the 2-2 tie and gave the Pippins a 4-2 lead. Bellingham scored a run in the second. The Pippins scored one in the bottom of the second. Kirby Robertson retired the side in the top of the third inning, and the Pippins bat here in the bottom of the third. One out, runner on first for Holder. Big swing from him this time, and instead he misses for strike one. The 0-1 pitch, and Taylor Holder takes on the inside corner. He's now in the hole 0-2. Timeout called as Luis Aviles needs to adjust the catching gear. The 0-2 pitch to Taylor Holder. Weak swing, but it's a chopper down the third base line. Stays fair long enough for A.J. Davis to grab it, and he gets it over to first just in time. Taylor Holder grounds out, sending Blake Dickman to second base. Davis's only play was to first, and that was a close one. That might have gone foul if he let it go, but he was confident he could get it there in time, and lucky for him he did. That was a close play, less than half a step to retire Taylor Holder. As A.J. Davis continues to shine defensively at third base. Runner in scoring position for Alex Shanks with 2 outs. He takes the first pitch up high for ball 1. Shanks grounded out to A.J. Davis to end the first inning in his first and so far only at-bat of this game. Couple looks back to second for Dixon, throws one in the dirt, skips away from Aviles, but stays on the dirt around home plate, and Dickman will stay put. 2 balls and no strikes for Alex Shanks. Alex Shanks sporting that baby blue Marucci. He's been swinging as of late, about the last week. The 2-0 pitch holds back a swing that time as the ball misses low, and it's 3-0. Blake Dickman had a 1-out base hit. He punched just between the left side of the infield, the 3-0 pitch. Inside corner for a strike. It's 3-1 for Alex Shanks. Shanks in the series, 2 for 7 so far. He scored a run back in last night's game after starting that third inning with a base hit. The 3-1. Lines one into center field. Nick McClain. I don't think he's bluffing this time. He makes the catch, and that is out number 3. McClain, a lot of composure out there in center field. We've seen him make 2 deke plays out in center field on balls he knew he wouldn't catch, and that time on a ball he knows he will. He's hopping around, a little confident there, but he does make the catch, and the Pippins strand a runner on second base in the third. We go to the fourth. Pippins ahead 5-3. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Bellingham Bells. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Be an energy efficiency hero. Install high-efficiency natural gas equipment, and you can be just like Cascade's most energy-efficient player of the game. Match his ERA of $710. Put some runs on the board by upgrading your furnace, improving your home's insulation, and switching to a condensing tankless water heater. Cascade's bench is deep with both residential and commercial incentives. Check them out at our website or give us a call and be an energy efficiency player of the game.
What's worse than standing in line at concessions? Now you can satisfy your appetite while remaining in your seat. With the mobile app Fan Food, you simply select Express Pickup and order your food. It is that simple. You deserve a VIP experience. Download Fan Food today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the top of the fourth inning. And A.J. Davis will lead things off just as he did in the second inning. And we'll see if this at-bat we can get through without some theatrics. First pitch from Kirby Robertson, popped up into right field. Blake Dickman looks like he has a read on it. Cautious because of the wind, but he does make a catch. And we do get through the at-bat without anything interesting happening to A.J. Davis. And, of course, referring to his at-bat back in the second inning. He had a 1-2 count on him and brought his hands around, and I believe the ball hit the knob of his bat and bounced fair. The Pippins picked it up and threw it to first, but it was immediately called foul by the home plate umpire. First pitch to Alex Lambo, squared around a bunt, pulled the bat back, and took strike one. And I believe the argument from Eric Swift was that it hit A.J. Davis's hand. The 0-1 pitch to Lambo. Breaking ball in there for a strike on the front door that time, and it's 0-2. So the Pippins, of course, got upset about that call. A.J. Davis goes on to double, move over to third on a double play, and score in that inning to make it a one-run game at the time, but the Pippins scored one in the bottom of the second to bring it back to a two-run lead. 5-3 the score for the Pippins. The 0-2 pitch, Lambo lines over the grandstands on the first base side. And it's still 0-2 for Lambo. Second plate appearance tonight. He walked with a full count in the second inning. He was the first batter to walk against Kirby Robertson. Another foul ball, this time right at his own dugout. Who gets saved by the netting on the railing. Lambo out of Santa Clara University. He went 3 for 14 over the summer. One extra base hit for him. It was a home run, the 0-2 pitch. And a big swing from him that time, but he was late on the fastball inside, and he strikes out swinging. That is the first strikeout for Kirby Robertson today, and it's his second out of the fourth inning. We've seen sort of this phenomena from Kirby Robertson and Dylan Bishop, a couple of the Pippins pitchers, where over their last few outings they've had some tougher first 1 or 2 innings and then settle in, retire a bunch of guys in order. Here's the first pitch to Cody Schreier. Takes a strike on the inside corner. So far, Kirby Robertson has retired the last 6 batters, the last one of the second inning. 3 up, 3 down in the third, and the first 2 batters retired here in the fourth. Cody Schreier grounded into a double play in his first at-bat in the second inning. Bounces one at Chaz Myers. Awkward hop, and it goes over his glove. Misplayed, and Cody Schreier is on with what should go down as a base hit. Hard hit ball. Awkward hop for him, and you don't necessarily blame him for not putting his body in front of that one. However, if he does, he at least would have been able to knock it down if the wind doesn't get knocked out of him. Looks like it will go down as an error for Chaz Myers. I don't really know that I fully agree with that, but a runner on the error, and here's Emilio Corona, who had an RBI base hit in the fourth that scored A.J. Davis. First pitch to Corona, misses low and away. Carpentier scoops it out of the dirt to keep Cody Schreier on first, and it's ball one. 2 outs, runner on first base. Kirby Robertson had 6 batters retired in a row before that hit from Schreier. Corona fouls one off, 1 ball and 1 strike. Schreier on first base had 5 stolen bases over the summer. Decent sized lead over at first base. The 1-1 pitch, line drive into right field. Blake Dickman near where he was standing, and he will make the catch for out number 3. So the first 2 batters retired. Cody Schreier reaches on, well, either a hard hit base hit or an error by Chas Myers, and Emilio Corona lines out to the right fielder, Blake Dickman. And we go to the bottom of the 4th. Pippins ahead 5-3. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, so we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the bottom of the 4th inning. Chris Rosado Jr., pleasure to have you along. 9-1-2 due up for the Pippins. Spencer Marenko, Connor Kobalas, and Chas Myers starting things off. The 4th inning of tonight's game is brought to you by Yakima Pediatric Dentistry, located at 3909 Creekside Loop in Yakima. Yakima Pediatric Dentistry offers specialized care for infants, kids, and teens in a safe, fun environment for children as they begin their lifetime journey to maintaining a healthy smile. First pitch to Spencer Marenko. Gets a piece of it to foul it off. Pippins certainly smiling right now. They're playing their brand of baseball out in front early after the Bells scored 2 runs in the first. The Pippins scored 4 in the bottom of the first. 1 run for each team in the second, and the Pippins lead 5-3 here in the bottom of the 4th inning as Spencer Marenko takes one in the dirt for ball 1. The Pippins are not generally a team that comes back from deficits. They are a team that gets out to an early lead, as big of a lead as they can, and then simply tries to hold off the opposing offense. Strike called on the low outside corner to Spencer Marenko, and it's 1-2. So right now, with a 2-run lead, the Pippins hope to be able to hold off the Bells. We know the Bells have a potent offense. They showed it, put it on display on Saturday. Spencer takes up high, and it's 2-2 with no outs. Start this inning. Bounces outside, and it's a full count for Spencer Marenko. Kirby Robertson has just completed his 4th inning of work for the Pippins. He got his first strikeout. He's walked 2 batters, 4 hits against him, 3 runs. Joey Dixon is working into his 4th inning. Payoff pitch to Spencer Marenko, and taken at the knees for a called strike 3. Spencer thought out of the hand that one was going to miss low. He realized once it got to him that it did indeed catch the bottom of the strike zone. So Connor Kobalas will bat with nobody on and 1 out in the bottom of the 4th as we go back to the top of the order. Kobalas reached on a walk on 4 pitches to start the bottom of the 1st inning, and then had an RBI double, scoring Spencer Marenko in the 2nd inning. Here's the first pitch to Kobalas. Almost gets hit by the pitch, but instead takes a ball inside, and it's 1-0. Dixon, 3 1/3 innings so far, 4 hits against him, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. He's walked 3 and struck out now 2 batters after Spencer Marenko struck out to start this inning. First two pitches are balls to Connor Kobalas. Two-0 pitch right down the middle for a strike to Kobalas. Speaking of the Pippins brand of baseball, last night the Pippins won 6-3 against the Bells in game 2. The 2-1 misses low and away, and it's 3-1. The Pippins are 7-0 this year amongst West Coast League and non-league games, and last night's game, in which they've scored exactly 6 runs as Kobalas takes a ball low and away for a walk. Right now they have 5 runs scored in this game. So who knows? Maybe all they got to do is get to 6 and then just stop trying to score. I'm just saying we can't rule out the strategy is all. Chaz Myers will bat. We'll take you back to last night's game in that bottom of the 3rd inning. He stepped to the plate. He was the first batter to bat with the bases loaded and no outs. He had an RBI base hit that just dropped into center field. Nice little bloop single back into center. Scores a run, just 1 run, because Nick McLean was acting as though he was going to be able to catch the ball, and the other runners had to potentially tag with no outs. Still ended up being an RBI base hit for Myers, and ultimately the rest of those runners would wind up scoring as well. Myers bats tonight, or right now rather, with Kobalas on first base after his 2nd walk of the game. The 1-1 pitch to Chaz Myers. He takes inside for ball 2, and it's 2-1. The 2-1 pitch to Chaz Myers. That one called a strike by Eric Swift. You could see him thinking about it as the ball skipped off the glove of Luis Aviles, and Eric Swift had to decide whether he should call that one a strike or not. It definitely looked like it should have been a strike, but sometimes it can be tough to get that call when your catcher doesn't catch the ball. It does get called, and it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Slight delay as the pitcher warming up in the Bells bullpen throws one onto the field of play. 2-2 pitch to Myers. Off the end of the bat, bouncer back to the mound. He will go to first base. No chance for Kobalas at second. And he gets Myers out at first, moving Kobalas up. There's 2 outs with Kobalas on second base for Sam Olson. Myers just got a piece of that ball and sent it back up to Joey Dixon on the bounce. By the time he got to it, Kobalas was nearly into second base already. Here's Sam Olson. First pitch, he takes down low for ball 1. Olson had an RBI base hit back, and another ball skips out into the field of play. Looks like Will Armbruster getting warm again back in the bullpen. He was getting warm back in the 1st inning after the first 4 batters reached against Joey Dixon. 3 of them on walks, 1 of them on a base hit. But Dixon was able to settle in. He did allow 4 runs in that inning, 1 more in the 2nd, none in the 3rd, and none in the 4th so far. Sam Olson grounds one back towards lefties. Foul, and it's 1-1. Olson is now 2 for 9 this series. A 1-1 pitch, and Olson pops one up out of play. First base side, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Led the team in on-base percentage. He was a guy, when he joined the team about a month into the season, as he started to accumulate at-bats, and the batting average was not falling as they tend to do once you've had a few at-bats. The 1-2 pitch he takes up high for a ball. generally. Instead of writing down the batting average in my notes, I'll take note of how many hits and at-bats a batter has until they get to about 20 to 30. That's when the sample size is a little larger and you can start basing it off of the batting average. And Olsen, after 50 or 60 at-bats, was still counting them because the average was so high. Malachi Knight in the bullpen. That ball will drop out in front of him. He was slow getting over to that one. Not sure if he lost it for a second. That could have been playable for a speedy outfielder like Malachi Knight. All right, the shortstop Schreier over to first, and Sam Olsen is retired on the ground out. So the one-out walk to Connor Cobalis ends up not mattering much. Pippins do not score a run in the fourth. They still lead 5-3 as we go to the fifth. Top of the lineup for the Bells due up. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Stay connected and let Perry Technical Institute provide you with essential skills to take your career to the next level. Perry Tech offers 14 specialized programs, from instrumentation and industrial automation to medical technologies, agricultural and diesel equipment technology, and professional truck driving. In as little as 5 weeks, you could be on your way to a new rewarding career. Call Perry Technical Institute today at 509-453-0374 or visit perrytech.edu.
What has not traveling this last year really cost us? How about our peace of mind? It's time for a change of pace. Time to put aside the stress of the last year and get a new perspective with Fly YKM. Take back the time you lost and save time for what really matters. It's time for Fly YKM. Fly faster. Fly safer. Visit flyykm.com and connect to over 88 cities today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the top of the fifth inning and the top of the lineup due up for the Bellingham Bells. Laughing because Kirby Robertson finished up his warm-up pitches, ducked in anticipation of the throw down to second from Michael Carpentier Jr., and it didn't come right away. Kirby assumed either it had already gone or Carpentier wasn't going to throw it. Started to stand up, and that's exactly when Carpentier threw down, thankfully over the head of Kirby Robertson. Things you notice when you keep your eyes open at a baseball field. Daniel Jernan leads things off here in the fifth inning. Big hack from him, but he misses the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Fans here in Yakima remember a couple of close swings or check swing called against Willie Lajoie. High fly ball just onto the grass in right field, and long way to go for Spencer Marenko as he was just skirting the infield dirt. He finally is able to make the catch. The wind here continuing to toy with these defenders here tonight. Nick McLean will step to the plate for the third time tonight. 1 for 2. Had a base hit in the first that was followed up by a 2-run home run by Luis Aviles. First pitch, and he lines one down the third base line. That will tail out of play, and I believe into the parking lot next to Yakima County Stadium. The orchard here, surrounded on two sides by the parking lot at State Fair Park. 0-1 pitch to McLean, misses outside. State Fair Park, host of the Central Washington State Fair, which will take place in late September, early October. 1-1 pitch from Kirby Robertson. This is high and outside that time, and it's 2-1. Surrounded by that parking lot on the first and third base sides behind the grandstands. The 2-1 pitch, and McLean takes a strike. It's 2-2. Out beyond the left field fence is Pacific Avenue here in Yakima. And in right field, some unpaved parking available for overflow for events. Also part of State Fair Park. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Kirby Robertson out of the windup. Another high fly ball, middle of the infield. Spencer Marenko racing in. He Might have lost it, but Connor Cabales had an eye on it, and he makes the catch just behind the pitcher's mound. A couple of big hacks from these hitters in the 5th inning, but fly balls on the infield. And that will bring Luis Aviles to the plate, 1 for 2 as well with that 2-run home run, as well as a ground out to Chaz Myers in the 3rd. Hit his grounder right at Chaz Myers, had enough time to wait back on it, throw over to first to retire Aviles. Here's the first pitch. Breaking ball, he takes the other way. Foul territory, racing away from Blake Dickman, and that will fall on top of the tent covering the right field picnic deck. Rolls off and onto the field. Blake Dickman will pick it up and return it to the Bells bullpen. Nice, crisp, game-ready ball that the next pitcher can get warmed up using. A 1 pitch to Aviles. This is inside for ball 1, 1-1. One of the struggles of being down in the bullpen, finding a game-like baseball that you can throw with. They're in shorter supply than you might think. The 1-1 pitch. Aviles foul tips that one back into the glove of Michael Carpentier Jr. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kirby Robertson in the battle against Aviles. Aviles hit his 2-run home run on a full count the other way to right field back in the 1st inning. Grounded out on the first pitch in the 3rd inning. Here's the 1-2. Up high, and they get him swinging on the fastball. That is strikeout number 2 for Kirby Robertson, and it gets him through a 3-up, 3-down 5th inning. We go to the bottom of the 5th. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Pippins. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Who knew it was so difficult to find the right bank?
I know. It's so confusing.
Checking out your banking options? Oh, sounds overwhelming.
It's a cloud of uncertainty.
Enough! With Banner Bank, it's easy to manage your finances, and help is here when you need it.
Be gone, Cloud!
Oh! Wait! Ah!
Built for action, built for banking. Banner Bank.
If we win the lottery, we'd remodel our home.
We'd start with the kitchen.
And out back is where the big trucks will go.
Wow!
Ben, you don't even live here anymore?
Hey, don't forget about Grandma.
Okay, family meeting.
Come on, walk into the ice dome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the bottom of the 5th inning, and it looks like the Bellingham Bells have made a call to the bullpen. It looks like Will Armbruster taking over on the mound for Joey Dixon. Dixon went 4 innings. He allowed 4 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. He walked 4 batters and struck out 2 in his outing, and it looks like Armbruster will take over now. Armbruster will face Willie Lajoie, Michael Carpentier Jr., and Blake Dickman to lead things off here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Armbruster will be a redshirt sophomore out of the University of New Mexico, out of Sammamish, Washington. Lanky right-hander, 6'6", 225 pounds. Towering over the pitcher's mound. First pitch, he spikes in the dirt in front of home plate. And it's 1-0. I mentioned it earlier in the season. If you've been following along throughout the year, if you are just tuning in, maybe this is your first broadcast, welcome first of all. 1-0 pitch, and Lajoie pulls one foul down the third base line. It's 1-1. Taller pitchers present not just a different angle for the batters as the ball leaves the hand and comes back down towards home plate at a steeper angle of attack. but also is a much different angle for the umpires who've been seeing one angle throughout the night. 1-1, grounded back up the middle, gets past Armbruster, skips off the second base bag and into center field. Willie Lajoie with a base hit to lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning. He's on for the second time tonight. So Michael Carpentier Jr. will bat. He had an RBI ground out back in the 1st inning. Scored Chaz Myers from third base and tied the game at 2 at that point before Taylor Holder's 2-run double gave the Pippins a 4-2 lead. 1 run for both teams in the next inning, and the Pippins are up 5-3. First pitch to Carpentier, sails over the glove of Luis Aviles. Looks like they got crossed up on a pitch there. Willie Lajoie easily able to take second base as it, I don't even know if it bounced before it hit the backstop. It'll go down as a wild pitch for Will Armbruster. Carpentier with a 1-0 count. Armbruster, 9 appearances this season for the Bells in West Coast League play. 6 of them starts. He had a 2-0 record with a 3.14 ERA. 34 and a third innings of work. 29 strikeouts to 9 walks. The 1-0 pitch to Carpentier. He takes outside and it's 2-0. So a little bit different look from Joey Dixon physically because he's taller, just a different angle of that ball coming in, but also the strikeouts much higher than the walks for Armbruster in the summer season. The 2-0 pitch, and Carpentier takes low and inside for a ball. It's 3-0. Pippins holding on to a 2-run lead that they've held since the bottom of the 3rd inning. It's 5-3. Both these teams playing for a trip to the West Coast League Championship Series. Pippins have never made it there in franchise history. They've been to the playoffs 3 times, and all 3 times were knocked out in the divisional round. The 3-0 pitch, Carpentier takes down low, and he walks on 4 straight pitches. Well, I mentioned the walks generally a lot less for Will Armbruster than the strikeouts this season. But then again, that goes back to the discussion I had earlier about the law of averages and just how things work out over the course of a season. Armbruster had 3 outings in which he walked a batter this season. Walked 1 batter, rather. He had 1 outing in which he walked 6 batters. First pitch to Blake Dickman. Takes for a strike. Tackle that one a different way. 4 games in which Will Armbruster walked at least 1 batter. 3 of them he only walked 1. And on July 25th against Ridgefield, in a 3-inning outing, he walked 6 batters. 6 out of the 9 for the entire summer in 1 outing. So although the strikeout's much higher than the walks for him this summer, this could be the one outing where things go the opposite way. Blake Dickman swings at one low and away, and it's 0-2 quickly for him in this at-bat, following up the 4-pitch walk to Michael Carpentier Jr. Blake is 1 for 2 tonight. Full count base hit in the 3rd inning. Wound up getting stranded on second base. Runners on first and second and no outs. Pippins ahead 5-3 in the bottom of the 5th inning. There's the 0-2. And Dickman takes low and away that time. Able to lay off. By the way, you might be able to notice, not sure if it comes across too well on the stream, the light blue wrap that's around the wrists of Blake Dickman. You'll see it on the arms of some of the other players as well. 1-2 pitch to Blake Dickman. Swung at and missed, and he goes down swinging for out number 1. Mentioned the wrap because the Pippins largely had white and black in stock, and Blake Dickman went out and bought a roll of nice blue wrap. Not really sure why. He liked the color of it, brought it in, and everyone else liked it as well, and they've all been using it over the last week or so. One out, runners on first and second base. Taylor Holder at the plate. He had a 2-run double back in the first inning. This is his first at-bat against Will Armbruster on the mound. And he takes ball 1 down low. Holder 1 for 2. He grounded out back in the third. By the way, going back to the Pippins history in the playoffs, 1-0 pitch to Taylor Holder. He takes inside, and it's 2-0. The Pippins made it to the playoffs in their first season back in 2014. They were the first expansion team in the West Coast League to qualify for the playoffs. Did so in 2014, and their opponent that year in the divisional round was the Bellingham Bells, who proceeded to sweep them in 2 games and go on to defeat Corvallis for the West Coast League Championship. 2-0 pitch, grounded at the second baseman, Alex Lambo. It bounces off his glove and through his legs, and Taylor Holder reaches. The bases are loaded with 1 out. Well, that'll definitely go down as an error for the second baseman. And Alex Shanks will bat with the bases loaded and 1 out. Shanks is 0 for 2 tonight. He's due for a hit. This would not be a bad time for it. Shanks 2 for 7 before this game in the series over the last 2 days. 1 run, doesn't have an RBI so far in the series. First pitch to him. Takes outside for ball 1. Bellingham Bells, on the other hand, much more familiar with the playoffs. They've been a number of times. Fouled off by Alex Shanks, and it's 1-1. Which is to be expected, that they've been to the playoffs a few more times than the Pippins, and to the championship series more than the Pippins, as the Bellingham Bells were a founding member of the West Coast League. There's the 1-1 pitch to Alex Shanks. Bounces past the glove. On his way to home goes Willie Lajoie. The throw is to the wrong side. Armbruster lost his glove, but Carpentier is going to hang out around third base. That would have been an interesting play if he does try to go. Throw went to the wrong side of home plate, and Lajoie was probably in there anyways. The Pippins score a run on the wild pitch, taken for a ball by Alex Shanks, who now has a 2-1 count with runners on second and third. Well, Lajoie reached on a single to start this inning and then moved to second on a wild pitch. Carpentier was walked, and Taylor Holder reached on an error. Infield drawn in with runners on second and third. Double play possibility gone away, and Alex Shanks takes a strike on the outside half of the plate. It's 2-2. Armbruster comes set, looks back at second, now delivers the 2-2, spikes that one in the dirt, and Carpentier doesn't go. That one bounced off the arm of Luis Aviles, who now is holding his arm with his glove hand, and Eric Swift going to do him the courtesy of dusting off the plate. That ball bounced well out in front of home plate and caught the right arm of Luis Aviles, skipping away from him onto the grass. Carpentier elected not to try for home, so it's just a full count for Alex Shanks. Pippins lead 6-3 after Lajoie scores on the wild pitch. Here's the payoff pitch to Alex Shanks. And he takes low and away. He walks and loads the bases again. Second walk issued by Will Armbruster, and now Armbruster and Joey Dixon both have struggled in their first innings of work. And if you're Joey Dixon, obviously you left with a 5-3 lead, or 5-3 deficit. rather. First pitch to Spencer Marenko. He takes at the knees for a called strike. Game's still relatively close. Doesn't want to see the next guy come in and blow it up even more. Pippins will certainly take any additional runs they're given. The 0-1 to Spencer Marenko. That one bounces outside. He takes a ball. That time gloved by Aviles, and Carpentier stays at third. Carpentier, the catcher for the Pippins. So we'll have a decent idea of what he thinks he can run on based on having experience from the other side as well. Taylor Holder's on second base with Alex Shanks on first. Another ball. And it's 2-1 for Spencer Marenko. Aviles would like another baseball. And we'll see if the new baseball helps Will Armbruster. Looks like he might be having trouble with the grip. He didn't actually look too happy about the fact that Aviles got him a new ball. Immediately picked up the rosin bag. Bases are loaded with one out for Spencer Marenko. The pitch. This is low and away, and it's 3-1 for him. Spencer reached on an error in the second inning, on an error by the shortstop Cody Schreier. Wound up scoring on a double by Connor Kobalas. Struck out looking in his last at-bat. So 0 for 2 officially with a run scored. Here's the 3-1 pitch from Will Armbruster. He misses up high. Spencer Marenko walks. That forces home a run. And it's now 7-3 in favor of the Pippins here in the bottom of the fifth inning. And out will come the Bellingham Bells for a quick mound visit. Well, they load the bases on a base hit, a walk, and an error with one out. Then the run scores on a wild pitch. Alex Shanks walks to load the bases again, and Spencer Marenko walks. 3 walks and a base hit in this inning. That's how Joey Dixon started the bottom of the first inning. Without an out, at least Will Armbruster has gotten an out in this inning. But 2 runs scored already as we head back to the top of the lineup. And Connor Kobalas, who's not exactly an easier matchup. Kobalas is 1 for 1 tonight with an RBI double back in the second inning. He has 2 walks otherwise. And Jim Clem had a very interesting looking argument with Will Armbruster, or conversation I should say. Cannot say for sure that it was an argument. Didn't necessarily look like he was telling Will Armbruster that he believes in him and he's got a lot of skill as a pitcher on the mound. Another pitcher warming up in the bullpen for the Bells. Bases loaded and 1 out again for Connor Kobalas. Misses up high on the first pitch. It's ball 1. Looks like Greg Blackman getting loose. Right-hander out of La Grande, Oregon. Corner infielders playing in, middle infielders back with the bases loaded and 1 out. Hoping for a double play ball from Kobalas. With Kobalas at the plate, for a double play to be a possibility, he really has to hit it right at somebody with the speed that he possesses down the line. First baseman Cole Hinkleman playing in on the grass. The 2-0 pitch catches the knees and a strike thrown by Will Armbruster. Spencer Marenko on first base is peeking around the right hip of Hinkleman. His lead just a little bit further than Hinkleman is off the base. 2-1 pitch misses low, and it is 3-1 for Connor Kobalas. Taylor Holder on third base. He reached on an error that loaded the bases with 1 out. And Alex Shanks on second base, he walked after a wild pitch opened up a base. The 3-1, and Kobalas holds back a swing. He takes a strike on the outside corner. Turns around. He was about to toss the bat away. He thought that one was a little generous call on the outside corner. I don't know. Looked about there on the outside half. Full count and 1 out for Connor Kobalas. Pippins up 7-3. Payoff pitch. And that one misses low and away. Kobalas does walk this time. That is the 3rd walk of the game for Connor Kobalas. 4th issued by Will Armbruster. and the second in a row that forces home a run in the 5th inning. So the Pippins now lead 8-3. And the Bells will be forced to make a change here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. With the bases loaded and 1 out, they're going to turn to Greg Blackman. We'll be back with the continuation of the bottom of the 5th inning when we return on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Be an energy efficiency hero. Install high-efficiency natural gas equipment, and you can be just like Cascade's most energy-efficient player of the game. Match his ERA of $710. Put some runs on the board by upgrading your furnace, improving your home's insulation, and switching to a condensing tankless water heater. Cascade's bench is deep with both residential and commercial incentives. Check them out at our website or give us a call and be an energy efficiency player of the game.
What's worse than standing in line at concessions? Now you can satisfy your appetite while remaining in your seat. With the mobile app Fan Food, you simply select Express Pickup and order your food. It is that simple. You deserve a VIP experience. Download Fan Food today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As we continue on in the bottom of the 5th inning, Chaz Myers will step to the plate with the bases loaded and 1 out, but he will do so against a new pitcher, second pitcher of the inning for the Bellingham Bells. It will be Greg Blackman taking over. Blackman will go back to Lewis Clark State College as a junior in the fall out of La Grande, Oregon. Right-hander on the mound, 5'10", 175 pounds. Been one of the better back-end options for the Bellingham Bells. We certainly hoped to not use him in the bottom of the 5th inning of tonight's game, but find themselves forced to after Will Armbruster allowed 4 runs already here in the bottom of the 5th and just 1 out with those bases loaded. This was Will Armbruster's first inning of work. He got just the 1 out, 1 hit, 4 walks. His 1 out was a strikeout. So far, 4 runs, 3 of them earned. And the Pippins lead 8-3. Actually, I might have miscounted here. Myers swings and misses at the first pitch, and it's 0-1. Looks like I have accidentally filled in a box a little too early. So it's 3 runs, 2 of them earned for Armbruster. The 0-1 to Chaz Myers, and the breaking ball gets him swinging, 0-2. So Alex Shanks is on third base, Spencer Marenko on second, and Connor Cabalas on first. All 3 of those batters walked to get on base. Chaz Myers behind 0-2 to Greg Blackman. The pitch, and he strikes out swinging for out number 2. Well, that's what has made Greg Blackman so successful this season. Sam Olson bats now with the bases loaded and 2 outs. He's the 9th batter of this inning. First pitch misses low and away for ball 1. By the way, the 1/3 inning of work for Will Armbruster is his shortest outing of the season, as he just struggled to find the strike zone against the Pippins. The 1-0 pitch catches the low outside corner, I guess. That was a breaking ball, and I believe it was caught in the dirt, but as they say, it's not about where it's caught, it's where it crosses the strike zone. 1 ball and 1 strike to Sam Olson, and he hits one back up to the second baseman, dives for it. Lambo off of his glove. 1 run scores. Here comes the second. Olson thought about going for 2, but he'll stay at first base. Shanks scores from third. Taylor Holder, or Spencer Marenko rather, scores from second base, and Connor Cabales goes first to third. That one should go down as a base hit for Sam Olson. That play would have been almost impossible to make for anyone. Alex Lambo at least got close. It went off of his glove, and I don't think really hurt the play much, except for the second run possibly scoring. Take another look at that one off the bat of Sam Olson. Bases loaded and 2 outs. New pitcher on the mound. It doesn't matter to Sam Olson. Drives that one on the ground. Short hops the second baseman Lambo, who only got to it with the dive. It skips off of his wrist and into center field, and Spencer Marenko able to race around from second base to score. Cabales goes first to third. Sam Olson has a 2-run base hit, and the Pippins now lead 10-3. Willie Lajoie batting for the second time in this inning as they've officially batted around. And he takes a first pitch ball from Greg Blackman. The 1-0 pitch. And Lajoie gives this one a ride. A long line drive into left field, but on the run and making the catch is Daniel Jernin. And it's a long out number 3. 5 runs for the Pippins in the 5th inning, and they now lead 10-3 as we go to the 6th. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Bells. We'll be right back. You're tuning into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, so we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the top of the 6th inning, and the Pippins now lead this game 10-3, a 5-run 5th inning, and now Kirby Robertson's role is to get as deep into this game as humanly possible. Pippins had to use 4 pitchers on Saturday night. Kenny Johnson lasted 2 innings, Dylan Bishop 2 1/3, Peyton Robertson 2 2/3, and Julian Todd and Chabot pitched the final inning for the Pippins. That was 2 nights ago. Cole Hinkleman, first pitch swinging, pops one up, shallow left. Chaz Myers out, and he tried to turn around last minute to make the catch, but it evades his glove and will drop in for a base hit. Bloop base hit down the left field line, and it was all Cole Hinkleman needed. Last night, the Pippins needed just 2 pitchers, Seth Kuykendall and Owen Wild, to finish things off. Preserving a number of arms. I talked to pitching coach Kelly Fitzpatrick ahead of today's game. During the pregame show, you might have seen the interview. He mentioned they still had a lot of arms available tonight, if necessary, for the late stages of the game, including Payson Sweeney and Case Matter, who have been lights out over their last few outings, and Landon Shire as well, who the Pippins rely and trust. Malachi Knight takes a strike, and it's 1-1 for him, with Cole Hinkleman on first base and no outs in the top of the 6th inning. So they've got options down there tonight. I believe Case Matter is getting loose down in the bullpen. 1-1 pitch fouled back to the screen by Malachi Knight, and it's 1-2. The Pippins have a 7-run lead heading into the 6th inning. So at this point, it's a matter of just holding off the Bells. And they could find themselves in the West Coast League Championship Series for the first time in franchise history. Why not? The season has been full of firsts for them. Why not add that to the list as well? 2 balls and 2 strikes after Robertson misses up high to Malachi Knight. The Pippins or the Bells, whoever wins this game, will host the Corvallis Knights in the first game of the championship series. The Knights would then host games 2 and 3 if a game 3 becomes necessary. Full count for Malachi Knight. And I was wrong. It's actually Payson Sweeney getting loose down in the bullpen for the Pippins. Here's the payoff pitch to Knight. Pops one up. That will go over the backstop and out of play. Still a full count. The first game of the West Coast League Championship Series will either take place tomorrow night or Wednesday night here in Yakima. I believe it has not been officially decided. 3-2 pitch. Knight tries to hold back a swing. The barrel of the bat gets through the strike zone and makes contact. It's a foul ball. Strike 3 taken on the breaking ball that froze Malachi Knight. Started at the top of the strike zone, dropped in, and caught the outside corner. And that is strikeout number 3 for Kirby Robertson tonight. Following up the leadoff base hit by Cole Hinkleman. First pitch strike delivered to A.J. Davis, who's 1 for 2 tonight. And as of this moment, at least, the Pippins not as angry about the call that went in the Bells' favor back in the 2nd inning with A.J. Davis at the plate. Fouled over the backstop, and it's 0-2 quickly for him against Kirby Robertson. Hinkleman on first base. That was his first hit of the night, by the way. A.J. Davis, 0-2, lines one into center field. Taylor Holder to his left makes the catch, and that is a quick out number 2. The wind has calmed down quite a bit here in Yakima. The sky is completely black, the sun fully set. The smoke was a lot less of a factor in today's weather. Here in Yakima over the last few days, smoke has been enveloping the region as a haze covered the field. And here tonight, it was nice blue sky at first pitch. First pitch swinging was Alex Lambo, dropping one into right field, but Blake Dickman is underneath it to make the catch. Great read by him, great route, got to it quickly and makes the catch for out number 3. Leadoff base hit by Cole Hinkleman, doesn't come around to bite anyone. When we go to the bottom of the 6th, Pippins ahead 10-3. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires, proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, so we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the bottom of the 6th inning. Michael Carpentier Jr. to lead things off, followed by Blake Dickman and Taylor Holder. I'm Chris Rosado Jr. Happy to have you along all season long and next season as well, right here on the Pippins Broadcast Network, which consists of the Pippins on Mixler Audio at Pippins Baseball and on YouTube at Pippins Baseball. You can find links to both of those at pippinsbaseball.com/live. The first pitch to Michael Carpentier Jr. He takes outside from Greg Blackman, getting a clean inning here in the 6th inning. He came on with the bases loaded and 1 out. Got a strikeout to start his outing, but then a 2-run base hit by Sam Olson. So he stranded just one of the 3 runners he inherited. Strike called on Carpentier on the backdoor breaking ball, and it's 1-1. Timeout called, and I think one of the warm-up pitches from Payson Sweeney down in the bullpen might have skipped into left field. Daniel Jernan had chased it down and returned it to the Pippins and was well out of position. Thankfully, somebody noticed. Here's the 1-1. Carpentier lines one down the third base side out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Kirby Robertson has completed his 6th inning of work. He has allowed 5 hits, 3 runs, all 3 of them earned, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts for him. His day might be done as Payson Sweeney seems to be moving into the 3rd phase of getting warm down in the bullpen. The 1-2 pitch just misses off the outside corner. And it's 2-2 for Michael Carpentier Jr. Kirby Robertson this summer, his longest outing was 7 innings. Here's the 2-2. And Carpentier lines this one, and it's caught by the shortstop, Cody Schreier. Was playing deep in the infield and caught that one out on the grass. Almost punched its way through, but instead is out number 1. I'll bring Blake Dickman to the plate, and he's come up clutch quite a bit this season for the Pippins, including last night. We'll take you back to his hit last night in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Comes up and rips an RBI base hit to left field. I mean, just tears into that ball, pulls it into the corner. Didn't try to take it too far, didn't have to hit the home run, and ends up scoring a run with that hit back in last night's game. That gave the Pippins a 5-3 lead. They would go on to score 1 more run and win 6-3. Here in the bottom of the 6th inning, they're up 10-3. 1 ball. Swings and misses, and so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. By the way, I talked earlier about how the Pippins were undefeated in games in which they scored exactly 6 runs. And I kind of joked about the fact that maybe it could be considered that they should try to score 6 and stop there. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Dickman takes on the inside corner for a strike, and it's 1-2. However, now that they've gotten up to 10 runs, the Pippins are 16-0 this season in games in which they've scored 10 or more runs. They've also never won a game in which the opponent scored 10 or more runs. 1-2 pitch just misses outside, and it's 2-2. And thus, for the Pippins this summer, there's almost been a race to 10. Whichever team can get there first has a good chance to win that game. Here's the 2-2. Dickman gets a piece of it. Chopper up the middle. Shortstop Schreier to it. Throws to first on the hop and gets it there in time to retire Blake Dickman. So 2 quick outs for Greg Blackman here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And here's Taylor Holder. Holder is 1 for 3 tonight. He had a 2-run double back in the first that gave the Pippins a 4-2 lead. 1 run for each team in the second inning made it 5-3, and it stood that way until the bottom of the fifth when the Pippins scored 5 runs to take a 10-3 lead. They're trying to add to it here in the sixth inning. First pitch to Holder, swing from him, but he's underneath it, and it's strike 1. Holder also reached on an error back in the fifth inning by the second baseman, Alex Lambo. That loaded the bases with 1 out. That's when the trouble started. High fly ball. He pulled that one and should go out of play. Now it does. Looks like it bounced into lefties. Some concerned faces down there. I'm hoping that didn't hit a fan in that area. Saw one get hit by a line drive earlier a few weeks ago. She was all right. Hit her on the leg. Gnarly bruise to show for it. Here's the 0-2 to Taylor Holder, and it's a high fly ball, middle of the infield. Racing in is Lambo, but also the shortstop Schreier. They're together, and Schreier can't make the catch as their gloves got tied up. Holder thought about trying to capitalizing and taking off for second base, but the left fielder, Daniel Jernin, came in to cover. Well, miscommunication in the middle of the infield. That was on the second base side. It was a longer run for Schreier. He was underneath it, but so was second baseman Alex Lambo. Neither of them called each other off. They got tied up with their arms, and the ball drops in the infield. Holder reaches on an error for the second time tonight. Here's Alex Shanks. First pitch swinging, pops one up, foul territory, first base side, over to the fence goes Hinkleman. He'll watch it fall out of play. It's 0-1. The 0-1 pitch to Shanks. He takes high and tight for ball 1, and it's 1-1 for him. So as I said, and I've said a couple of times over the last few games, the Pippins and now the Bells, as this is a decisive game 3, the 1-1, and Shanks checks his swing, goes off the knob, and went straight at the backstop. Nobody tonight has the luxury of playing for another game. The Pippins are up by 7, so they get a little bit of it. They have a cushion that they can work with, but they still have to make sure that they're able to finish the job against the Bells in order to earn their ticket to the championship series against Corvallis. The 1-2 pitch. Shanks takes at the knees, strike 3. Aviles was jogging off the field before it was called, and he was correct. So the error comes back not to haunt the Bellingham Bells in the bottom of the 6th. The Pippins will take their 10-3 lead into the top of the 7th, 8-9-1, due up for Bellingham. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Stay connected and let Perry Technical Institute provide you with essential skills to take your career to the next level. Perry Tech offers 14 specialized programs, from instrumentation and industrial automation to medical technologies, agricultural and diesel equipment technology, and professional truck driving. In as little as 5 weeks, you could be on your way to a new rewarding career. Call Perry Technical Institute today at 509-453-0374 or visit perrytech.edu.
What has not traveling this last year really cost us? How about our peace of mind? It's time for a change of pace. Time to put aside the stress of the last year and get a new perspective with Fly YKM. Take back the time you lost and save time for what really matters. It's time for Fly YKM. Fly faster. Fly safer. Visit flyykm.com and connect to over 88 cities today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Top of the 7th inning, Chris Rosado Jr. here providing play-by-play coverage of the Yakima Valley Pippins all throughout the summer, West Coast League, non-league, and now the playoffs in the West Coast League North Divisional round. The Pippins forced a Game 3 with a win last night, 6-3, and here tonight are out in front 10-3 as we go into the 7th. Kirby Robertson started on the mound for the Pippins, turned in 6 great innings, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 in the first inning, 1 in the second. 5 hits against him, 2 walks, and 3 strikeouts, and his day is done as Payson Sweeney will take over in the 7th, and the Pippins will see how many innings they can get out of him. Be curious to see whether they elect to only throw him 1 or see if he can go 2 or possibly 3. As I said, the Pippins still have to finish off this game. They by no means are able to just park the bus here. The Bells have a potent offense, and they've got to make sure that they miss those bats throughout the end of this game. You have to remind yourself that the Bells scored 14 runs back on Saturday night in the series opener back in Bellingham. So it'll be interesting to see whether Payson Sweeney throws more than 1 inning, thus really taking him out for at least a day or 2, or if he throws 1 inning and the possibility would still be there for a game later on. First pitch was a ball to Cody Schreier. Pippins could conceivably throw Sweeney for 1 inning, Case Matter for an inning, and perhaps Landon Shire for the 9th inning, and just try to suppress the offense for the Bellingham Bells and see if any of those guys are necessary to go back-to-back days if Game 1 is indeed played tomorrow night. Here's the 2-0. Takes up high, and it's 3-0 for Cody Schreier against Payson Sweeney. Out of the windup, Sweeney, high leg kick and delivers the 3-0 over the heart of the plate for a called strike. It's 3-1. Payson Sweeney made 9 relief appearances for the Pippins over the summer, 5.82 ERA. He had a save, but an 0-2 record. Popped up, fouling out of play by Cody Schreier, and it's a full count for him to start off the 7th. In 17 innings of work, Sweeney struck out 24 batters and had 11 walks. Here's the 3-2 pitch. This is low and away, and Schreier walks to reach for the first time. Well, reached on an error back in the 4th inning. First time he reaches, that'll help the on-base percentage at least. Emilio Corona to bat with a runner on first and no outs in the top of the 7th. Sweeney will be at the University of Washington as a freshman in the fall. Pippins had another pitcher from Washington scheduled to come to the team and suffered an injury right before the summer season, so Sweeney was called up and brought in, and he's performed quite well. Bit of a learning curve for him, but he figured things out. First pitch missed for a ball to Emilio Corona. Corona 1 for 2 tonight, RBI base hit in the 2nd inning and a line out in the 4th. Here's the 1-0. Big swing from him. Off the end of the bat and goes back to the screen, 1-1. Corona and Daniel Jernin, who is on deck, lead the team in almost every offensive category, or at least led the team in the summer in most offensive categories. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Corona swings and misses. It's 1-2 as Payson Sweeney pulled the string on that one. Corona led the team in RBI with 23 of them, as well as doubles with 15 of them, which put him in 4th place in the West Coast League in that category. Also led the way for the Bells with 5 home runs, and was second to Jernin in stolen bases with 10 of them. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Misses outside through the legs of Michael Carpentier Jr. On the way to second goes Cody Schreier. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes for Emilio Corona, who will be teammates with Payson Sweeney. Corona will be a sophomore in the fall. Sweeney out of the stretch, the 2-2 pitch over the heart of the plate, taking strike 3. I don't know if Corona thought that pitch was up or not. But strike 3 taken. That is out number 1 here in the top of the 7th. That looked like a great pitch. Emilio Corona looked like he took it like he didn't know he had 2 strikes on him. So 1 out, runner on second base, and we go to the top of the order, Daniel Jernin, who led the team in runs scored with 34 of them. That put him 3rd in the West Coast League. Here's the first pitch from Sweeney. Breaking ball misses outside, and it's 1-0. Jernin was also second on the team in walks with 21 of them. He was second to Yugo Hamakawa, who left the team shortly before the playoffs. Here's the 1-0 pitch to Daniel Jernin. Takes down low. It's 2-0. Hamakawa was one of those infielders, played second base, reached a ton either with base hits or walks. Strike called on Daniel Jernin, and it's 2-1. Certainly a large presence at the top of the order for the Bellingham Bells, and they're certainly missing him here in the playoffs. Schreier on second with 1 out. Here's the 2-1 to Jernin. Pops one up, high fly ball, deep down the right field side, but that is tailing foul and will go out of play. So 2 balls and 2 strikes as Payson Sweeney tries to work through this 7th inning, following up Kirby Robertson's start. Sweeney looks back at second. Here comes the 2-2. And off speed that time. Jernin was out in front of it, but just barely got a piece of it to stay alive. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kirby Robertson with a quality start tonight. 6 innings on the mound, 3 earned runs. And we'll see if it will be enough for the Pippins, who have a 7-run lead here in the top of the 7th. The 2-2 pitch fouled off again by Jernin, and it's still 2-2. Robertson, like most of the Pippins pitching staff, tends to work at a pretty quick pace. Payson Sweeney markedly slower so far in the 7th. Also has been working deep into counts. This is the 3rd batter he's faced tonight. Walked the first one on a full count. Struck out Emilio Corona on a 2-2 count. 2-2 here for Daniel Jernin with 2 foul balls additionally. The 2-2 popped up behind home plate. Carpentier trying to find it. Looks like he does have it. He reaches up and makes the catch. And deep breath for him as he closes his other hand around the glove and has made the catch in foul territory for out number 2. Well, Carpentier, a catcher who really shines when runners try to take a base on him. One of his favorite things to do is throw out would-be base stealers. The second best thing for any catcher is getting an opportunity with a large foul ball area behind home plate to catch a pop fly. They don't happen often. You don't get to practice them a lot. But Carpentier found a way, made the catch. Nick McClain at the plate. He swings and misses at the first pitch from Payson Sweeney, and it's 0-1 with 2 outs. Cody Schreier started this inning with a walk, moved to second on a wild pitch. He's still there after Corona struck out looking, and Daniel Jernin popped out into foul territory. The 0-1 to McClain. High fly ball to left. Alex Shanks to his right now camps out underneath it and makes the catch for out number 3. Time to stretch in Yakima, and the Pippins have a 10-3 lead We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Who knew it was so difficult to find the right bank?
I know. It's so confusing.
Checking out your banking options? Oh, sounds overwhelming.
It's a cloud of uncertainty.
Enough! With Banner Bank, it's easy to manage your finances, and help is here when you need it.
Be gone, Cloud!
Oh! Wait! Ah!
Built for action, built for banking. Banner Bank.
If we win the lottery, we'd remodel our home.
We'd start with the kitchen.
And out back is where the big trucks will go.
Ben, you don't even live here anymore?
Hey, don't forget about Grandma.
Okay, family meeting.
Come on, walk into the ice dome.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Bottom of the seventh inning, Pippins ahead 10-3, 9-1-2 due up for the Pippins. Spencer Marenko, Connor Cabales, and Chaz Myers. Tonight's seventh inning is brought to you by the Yakima Herald-Republic. For all game reports and news about the Pippins, read the Yakima Herald-Republic either in print or online. The Yakima Herald-Republic, they tell the Pippins stories. Spencer Marenko lines one out of play down the first base line. Start off the inning. Story tonight for the Pippins has certainly been the offense, taking advantage of walks issued by the Bellingham Bells pitchers. Joey Dixon started the game walking 3 out of the first 4 batters. The other batter, Sam Olson, had an RBI base hit in that first inning. Strike delivered to Spencer Marenko, and it's 0-2. Bases were loaded with no outs in the top of the first, as the Pippins already led 1-0. Michael Carpentier Jr. grounded out to the first baseman that brought in a run. And then a 2-run double for Taylor Holder made it 4-2 after the Bells had scored 2 runs in the top of the first inning. 0-2 pitch swung at and missed by Spencer Marenko. He goes down swinging for out number 1 as Greg Blackman continues his work here in the 7th. In the second inning, the Bells scored a run after a controversial call where A.J. Davis fouled the ball off. It looked like it had hit the knob of the bat and bounced fair. It was called foul. Alex Lambo had walked, setting up a double play that the Pippins turned, moving Davis to third base, and he would score on a base hit by Emilio Corona to make it 4-3 at that point. But the Pippins in the bottom of the second inning, Spencer Marenko reached on an error and scored on a double by Connor Cabales to make it 5-3. Pippins were holding on to that lead all the way until the 5th inning. Here's the 1-0 to Cabales. He takes for a strike, and it's 1-1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. In the 5th inning, Willie Lajoie led off with a base hit. Michael Carpentier Jr. walked. After a strikeout, Taylor Holder reached on an error to load the bases. Lajoie would score on a wild pitch as Cabales lines one the other way into right field for a base hit. And Cabales has reached in all 5 of his plate appearances tonight. He has a single now, a double, and 3 walks in this game, as well as an RBI and a run scored. Actually, 2 RBI and a run scored. That brings Chaz Myers to the plate. As I said, the Pippins loaded the bases with 1 out in the 5th inning. Alex Shanks would walk after Lajoie scored on a wild pitch, loading the bases again. Spencer Marenko and Connor Cabales would both walk to follow that up, scoring 2 more runs that were forced home as the merry-go-round started turning. Greg Blackman came in with the bases loaded and 1 out, struck out Chaz Myers, but then Sam Olson had a 2-run base hit that gave the Pippins a 10-3 lead. Myers lines 1 out of play on the first base side, and it's 0-2 quickly for him with 1 out and a runner on first. Pippins would like to add even more if they can. do have Landon Shire getting loose out in the bullpen, which would be an interesting choice to go to in the 8th inning. Myers off the end of the bat, rolls one to the second baseman, flip to short, over to first, and Myers beat the double play out, but they do get the lead out at second base. That would have been a close play for Alex Lambeau, but if he would have been able to pick that up and tag Kobalas and throw straight to first, it's probably about the only chance they have to turn the double play. So Sam Olson skies one into center field. Nick McLean over to it, and he makes the catch for out number 3. Chaz Myers reaches on the fielder's choice, but he's stranded on first base, and we go into the 8th. 10-3 lead for the Pippins, and it looks like Landon Shire will take over here in the 8th. We'll be right back with 3, 4, and 5 due up. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Be an energy efficiency hero. Install high-efficiency natural gas equipment, and you can be just like Cascade's most energy-efficient player of the game. Match his ERA of $710. Put some runs on the board by upgrading your furnace, improving your home's insulation, and switching to a condensing tankless water heater. Cascade's bench is deep with both residential and commercial incentives. Check them out at our website or give us a call and be an energy efficiency player of the game.
What's worse than standing in line at concessions? Now you can satisfy your appetite while remaining in your seat. With the mobile app Fan Food, you simply select Express Pickup and order your food. It is that simple. You deserve a VIP experience. Download Fan Food today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back for the top of the 8th inning. Chris Rosado Jr., pleasure to have you along. The Pippins, with a 10-3 lead, are now 6 outs away from advancing to their first ever West Coast League Championship Series, and here to at least get the first 3 outs is Landon Shire in the top of the 8th inning. Before he gets going in this inning, crouches down behind the rubber and says a prayer, one of the most fierce prayers I think I've seen this season. He knows the importance of this game and his presence in this game. Shire has been a lockdown closer for the Pippins. Luis Avila pops one up out of play to start off against him here in the top of the 8th inning. Shire has 6 saves this season. Joined the team on July 1st. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Misses inside, and it's 1-1 for Aviles to start things off. Aviles had a 2-run home run back in the first inning to give the Bells a 2-0 lead. Since then, ground out and a strikeout. He's 1 for 3. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and misses outside on the fastball. It's 2-1. Shire, his last outing was a tune-up outing back on August 11th against Wenatchee. Through an inning, no runs, no hits, no walks, 1 strikeout. That was following the Pippins' 6-game road trip to Corvallis and then Port Angeles that Shire did not make the trip for because he had been doing a little bit of involuntary traveling around the Southwest. Ball up high, and it's 3-1. Got kicked out of his apartment early, had to fly around, pack it up, go back home. Number of trips, and ended up getting back into Yakima actually after the team did from their road trip. Fly ball into center field. Taylor Holder underneath it. He'll make the catch, and Luis Aviles, after getting ahead 3-1 in his at-bat to start this inning. Instead, flies out, and he's out number 1. So Shire came back, and there were 3 more regular season games left. He comes in to the game against Wenatchee, and like I said, just a little tune-up outing for him. Definitely was a good outing for him, and gets the chance to throw an inning or two in game 3. Cole Hinkleman lines one the other way to left field, diving, and is that another diving catch for Alex Shanks? It is. That is the second diving play by Alex Shanks in this game. And that's a quick out number 2 for Landon Shire. Man, you talk about defensive runs saved. Plays like that are what build your value, get you in the lineup even if you're not producing. Shanks is 0 for 3 tonight, but has a walk and scored a run. Probably keeps him in the lineup regardless, but he makes plays like that, and it's impossible to keep him off the field. By the way, Corey Gerald came into the game to play right field for Blake Dickman last inning. I forgot to mention that. Malachi Knight takes 2 balls to start his at-bat with 2 outs and nobody on. Looks like Corey Gerald has replaced Blake Dickman straight up because Carpentier stayed in this game. Defensive option, the same change they made late in last night's game. The 2-0 pitch misses up high tonight, and it's 2-1. The rest of the defense seems to be intact. It's just that one change out in right field. Blake Dickman with the better bat. Corey Gerald, a very solid right fielder. And Malachi Knight walks with 2 outs. Here's A.J. Davis, who is 1 for 3 tonight. I mentioned it was interesting to see Landon Shire warming up to pitch in the 8th inning. First pitch taken up high by A.J. Davis. It's interesting because Pippins are up by 7 here in the 8th inning, 6 outs away, and Landon Shire is certainly somebody who can get you those 6 outs, but if he does go 2 innings here tonight, that would make him unavailable for a game tomorrow if Game 1 of the championship series does get played tomorrow night. A.J. Davis swings, and it's 1-1. But Shire hasn't pitched in 5 days, so it's also an opportunity to get him out on the mound. I'm definitely not against that idea. I just don't know about the 2-inning situation. 1-1 pitch fouled off the end of the bat by A.J. Davis, and it's 1-2. Certainly the 6-out save has been Landon Shire's bread and butter this summer. Not that he's capable, or not that he's not capable of getting all 6 outs to finish off this game. A.J. Davis with a 1-2 count, 2 outs, and Malachi Knight on first base. Shire out of the stretch. Here comes the 1-2. Davis, fly ball into right. Corey Gerald ranging over into the corner just in front of the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch for out number 3. So a fly out to center field, fly out to left field, and now a fly out to right field with a walk in the middle, and Landon Shire has gotten the Pippins 3 outs closer. They now get a chance to add to their 7-run lead in the bottom of the 8th inning, and they'll send Willie Lajoie, Michael Carpentier Jr., and Corey Gerald to the plate, 4, 5, and 6 to try to do it. We'll be right back. You're tuned into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Sure glad we went to Les Schwab.
I'm glad the baby's still happy.
Well, I'm just glad that along with tires, Les Schwab also does brakes, alignment, and a bunch of other safety services. I mean, if we'd gone to a cheap tire store instead, I'd be a doggone wreck.
My thoughts exactly.
Les Schwab Tires. Proud to be ranked #1 in overall customer satisfaction for aftermarket tire replacement by J.D. Power 2 years in a row.
Our staff loves baseball, and we know how to match you with the perfect vehicle that fits your baseball lifestyle. We know that you'd rather be getting ready to head to the field or the big game, So we make sure you have the most efficient and stress-free experience as possible. So if you're a baseball fan in the market this month for a newer vehicle, go online or give us a call so that you can set up a time for you to experience our easy and upfront pricing and our hands-on trade-in process that will really ensure you have a great experience and get a great value while shopping with us. Harvest Auto, where we're happy to support you and the activities you love.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the bottom of the 8th inning. Willie Lajoie to lead things off for the Pippins. He is 1 for 3 tonight with a walk, 2 runs scored. First pitch swinging, lines went into the left field corner. Will it stay fair? Yeah, it bounces off the wall in the corner. Lajoie was thinking about 2. Now he goes. The relay doesn't get there in time as he ducks in for a stand-up double to start things off in the bottom of the 8th. He's clanked it off the corner wall out there with the awkward angle, always a little bit tough to play. And he took advantage. Here's Michael Carpentier Jr. Had an RBI ground out in the first inning. Walk and a run scored in the 5th. Greg Blackman still on the mound for the Bells. 2 2/3 so far. He's allowed 2 hits, no runs charged to him. No walks and 2 strikeouts. Carpentier, grounder over to the second baseman as Lajoie goes to third. The throw goes to first, and Carpentier is out number 1. Pippins scored 4 runs in the first inning, a run in the second, and 5 runs in the 5th. They haven't scored since then. The Bells haven't scored since back in the second inning. Pippins up ahead 10-3, and a chance to add to the lead with Willie Lajoie on third base and 1 out for Corey Jarrell, making his first at-bat since coming into the game in the top of the 7th inning as a defensive substitution for Blake Dickman. He takes ball 1 outside. As I said in the last half inning, Blake Dickman considered the better bat in the lineup and really a can't-miss bat to include in every starting lineup. He tends to come up big in big situations. Fouled off the end of the bat by Jarrell, and it's 1-1 for him. I think Jarrell got a piece of Luis Aviles' glove on his backswing. But Dickman is playing right field because the Pippins have 3 catchers that all can hit. Carpentier, who's a great defensive option and has been terrific at the plate, especially in the later part of the season and here in the playoffs. Sam Olson, who has been DHing. A hard hit grounder, that'll get past the second baseman and does score the run from third. Willie Lajoie steps on the plate, and the Pippins lead 11-3 here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Corey Jarrell, a great defensive option out in the outfield, along with Chase Graves was working with him earlier in the summer and really improved his ability to track down baseballs, fly balls, and line drives, and always willing to lay down his body. He's also got a great arm. Taylor Holder short hops the shortstop, who's able to collect it on the second effort and flip it over to second base. Corey Jarrell is out on the force out, and Taylor Holder reaches on what will go down as a fielder's choice. Alex Shanks to bat. He's 0 for 3, but a walk for him as well. Every batter in the lineup, or every spot in the lineup, well, I can say batter too because Corey Jarrell had a hit. Every batter for the Pippins tonight has had at least 1 hit or walk, with the exception of Alex Shanks, who is at the plate now, due for 1 in the bottom of the 8th inning, looking to add to the lead as the Pippins find themselves out in front 11-3 over the Bellingham Bells. Here's the first pitch, and Shanks rounds it over to the third baseman, A.J. Davis, scoops it up and throws over to first in time. And Alex Shanks grounds out. And actually can correct myself. I said everyone had at least 1 hit or walk. Shanks did have a walk back in the 5th. Regardless, we go to the 9th. Pippins out in front 11-3, and Landon Shire out to protect the 8-run lead. We'll be right back with the ninth. You're tuning into Pippins Baseball on the Pippins Broadcast Network.
Stay connected and let Perry Technical Institute provide you with essential skills to take your career to the next level. Perry Tech offers 14 specialized programs, from instrumentation and industrial automation to medical technologies, agricultural and diesel equipment technology, and professional truck driving. In as little as 5 weeks, you could be on your way to a new rewarding career. Call Perry Technical Institute today at 509-453-0374 or visit perrytech.edu.
What has not traveling this last year really cost us? How about our peace of mind? It's time for a change of pace. Time to put aside the stress of the last year and get a new perspective with Fly YKM. Take back the time you lost and save time for what really matters. It's time for Fly YKM. Fly faster. Fly safer. Visit flyykm.com and connect to over 88 cities today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back for the top of the ninth inning, and Alex Lambo will start things off for the Bellingham Bells. 7, 8, and 9 due up for them here in the top of the ninth to face Landon Shire. First pitch was a ball. Second pitch catches the outside corner for a strike, and it's 1-1 for Lambo, who had a walk back in the second inning and hasn't reached since. Shire pitched the 8th inning, fly out, and benefited from a diving catch by Alex Shanks out in left field for the second out. Malachi Knight walked, but then a fly out to right field by A.J. Davis ended the 8th. The Pippins added a run in the bottom of the 8th inning and now lead 11-3. Shire working out of the windup. Here's the 2-1 to Lambo. This is inside, and it's 3-1. Lambo last night came in as a pinch hitter. Shire a little bit frustrated with himself after missing inside on that pitch. Has to understand he has an 8-run lead. He can't let anything get to him too bad here. Came in as a pinch hitter last night, Lambo did. Earned a base hit. So far tonight, 0 for 2 with a walk. Off the end of the bat, back up the middle. Shire tried to kick it. Was unable to. Caballas tried to pick it up and wasn't able to either, but Lambo was likely going to reach anyways, so it's an infield base hit for Alex Lambo. And that will bring Cody Schreier to the plate. And it's now Shire on Schreier here in the top of the 9th inning as the Bells are down to their final 3 outs. Pippins with an 8-run lead, 11-3. And a chance to advance to their first ever West Coast League Championship Series. The South Division was decided in just 2 games, Saturday and Sunday. Corvallis defeating Ridgefield in both of their games. First pitch strike to Cody Schreier. Corvallis won 13-6 on Saturday, 9-0 at home on Sunday. Here's the 0-1 to Schreier. Popped up, center field. Taylor Holder ranging over. He will make the catch, and that is out number 1. 1/3 of the way through here in the top of the 9th inning. Landon Shire has said that every second he has spent with the guys with the Yakima Valley Pippins, he has loved. It's been his favorite part of the year. Finished off a spring season with Angelo State University that advanced all the way to the Division II World Series. Made it to the semifinals before they were finally knocked out. That's what prevented him from joining the team any earlier. 1-0 pitch. As Landon Shire comes set, here comes the 1-0. That one near the head of Emilio Corona. No intent there from Shire, but when you're a hitter, you don't always believe that when you see one fly at your face. The 2-0 pitch. This is high and tight that time, just inside, and it's 3-0. Shire at Angelo State University is studying exercise science and business. Said he one day would like to own and operate a sports training facility or coach in college baseball. Strike taken by Emilio Corona, and it's 3-1. Corona the DH tonight. Shire is very close with the coaches of the Pippins here. Played for Kyle Crustangel and Wenatchee back in 2019. The 3-1 pitch misses inside, and Corona walks. So it's gone base hit, fly out, and now a walk. Runners on first and second with 1 out. The danger here isn't necessarily the lead being blown. Again, an 8-run lead for Landon Shire, but they want to keep the pitch count down and make sure he's ready to go if they need him, even in a Game 1 situation. Look back at second. Here's the first pitch to Daniel Jernin. Catches the outside corner on the slider, and it's 0-1. Shire's Angelo State University was 44-9 overall on the year, 25-5 in conference play. Jernin lines one into left field. Alex Shanks over, and it bounces off of his glove. The runner was heading back to second. Now comes to third. They're waving him around. Kovalis will throw to the plate. It's a close one. No slide, and he just got in before the tag. That was a lot closer than it had any business being. Alex Lambo was not charging very hard. He was being waved around by the third base coach for the Bells pretty much the entire way, but Lambo didn't pick up on it until he was almost to third base. Alex Shanks, that one was a laser hit right at him, just popped out of the glove. Lambo had been trying to go, well, was headed back to second base thinking the ball had been caught, then took off for third. Came around to score. Kobalis' throw was just to the wrong side of home plate, or else Alex Lambo probably would have been thrown out on that play. First pitch fouled off by Nick McLean. So the Bells score a run, and it's now 11-4. Emilio Corona on second base with Daniel Jernin on first and 1 out. The 0-1 pitch, and it's a hard hit grounder through the right side of the infield. Corey Jarrell will pick it up, being waved around to score. The throw goes up the line. Carpentier will throw to second, and hung out to dry is Nick McLean for out number 2, and the Pippins will gladly trade an out for a run in this situation. They are now 1 out away, 3 strikes away from winning this game, and they have a 6-run lead to work with. Well, Nick McLean was trying to capitalize on the throw home. In fact, let's take another look at that play. As Nick McLean rolls that one over through the right side of the infield and into right field. Corey Jarrell with a strong arm just missed off target to home plate. Carpentier saw McLean trying to capitalize and got it down to Kobalis at second base. Well before McLean got in, he was hanging his head and came in standing. Had resigned himself to having run into the second out potentially could have tried to at least get into a pickle to score the runner from third, but he does not, and instead he's out number 2. Here's Luis Aviles. 0-1, he fouls off, and now the Bells down to their last strike. Luis Aviles had the 2-run home run back in the first inning. Other than that, a ground out, a strikeout, and a flyout, and Landon Shire would like to make him 1 for 5 tonight. Runner on third base. Pippins up 11-5. Shire set. Here comes the 0-2. Fastball fouled off down the right field line, and that will go out of play, so he gets another chance at the plate. And it's actually not Luis Aviles, rather. Missed the announcement on that one. It is Charlie Somm at the plate. Pinch hitting for Aviles. Somm played last night. He was 1 for 3 with a walk. Scored a run. Scored one of the 3 runs for the Bells last night. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Somm. Swung on and missed. And Landon Shire, with his first strikeout of the night, gets through the ninth. The Bells scored 2, but they had an 8-run lead to work with. Traded a run for an out, and the strikeout seals things. The Pippins have won games 2 and 3, and for the first time ever in franchise history, have advanced to the West Coast League Championship Series. It's been a season of firsts. They won the first half in the North Division for the first time ever, and now then they won the second half, the first time they've won both halves of the regular season, and here in the playoffs have won their second and third games in the playoffs, but their first ever playoff series victory has earned them a right to play the Corvallis Knights, defending champions in the West Coast League, play them in the West Coast League Championship Series. The Corvallis Knights have won the last 4 championships, 2016 through 2019. Before that, in 2015, was the first time in a long time that Corvallis didn't at least make it to the championship series. The Pippins will face them. They will host them for Game 1. Game 1 has not been decided as of the last time I was informed on whether it will take place tomorrow night or Wednesday night. So keep an eye on the Pippins Baseball Twitter or Facebook or Instagram pages. Our social medias will be kept up to date to inform everyone of when Game 1 will take place, but the Pippins will host Game 1. It will be the final game at Yakima County Stadium this summer, and then they will head to Corvallis for Game 2, and if needed, a Game 3. The Bells scored 2 runs in the top of the first. The Pippins score 4 in the bottom of the first. 1 run for each team in the second made it 5-3. Before the Pippins scored 5 runs in the fifth. That put the game out of reach. They would add 1 more in the bottom of the 8th inning, allow 2 in the top of the 9th, but by then it was too late. The Pippins had already walked away with an 11-5 victory. They bounced back after the 14-1 series opener in Bellingham on Saturday. Pippins answer with a 6-run third inning last night to come back from a 3-0 deficit and win 6-3. And then tonight, the big offensive innings, benefiting from walks and errors, and they took full advantage of those. They walk away with the 11-5 victory. The Pippins will play in the West Coast League Championship Series. Keep an eye on our social media to find out when, but we already know where. It will be here in Yakima, and we hope to see you there. I've been Chris Rosado Jr. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope you'll do it again a few more times as the Pippins finish out their playoff run.